Hello, dear viewers. Support me by subscribing to my channel and share my video if you like it. And also, make sure you comment your thoughts. Now let's start the video. The old man ignored Kai's attitude and asked, "Did you figure out the wig riddle from earlier?" Kai smirked. "I heard Blaine, the gym leader from Cinnabar Island, loves riddles, and he wears wigs because he lost his hair. Since the gym is now a hot spring resort, who better to oversee it than the gym leader himself?" "Sharp as a tack," Blaine laughed, dropping the act. "Yep, I'm Blaine, the Cinnabar gym leader, but about that bald rumor, just gossip. I shaved my head because it's too hot here, not because I'm bald." Kai and Misty exchanged skeptical looks, while Brock sensed he was covering something. Only Ash seemed to buy it. "So you're Blaine, I'm Ash from Pallet Town. I came to challenge you." Blaine coughed, shaking his head. "I'd advise you to give up. The gym's now a hotel, and I'm not its leader anymore. If you want a badge, try another town." "What?" Ash was shocked. "It's really a hotel now?" Blaine folded his arms. "Blame the hot springs we found a few years back. The town became a tourist hotspot. Most trainers were just tourists, so I turned the gym into a hotel." Ash protested, "Don't lump us in with them. We're serious challengers." "Yeah," Kai added, "we won't leave until we earn the volcano badge." Blaine studied them, then said, "All right, I'll give you a chance, but first, you need to find the real gym location." "The real gym location?" Misty asked, looking at the hotel. "Isn't it here?" "Not exactly," Blaine chuckled. "The gym's hidden inside the hotel, but you'll have to solve a puzzle to find it." Blaine led them inside. The hotel was spacious, with a restaurant and hot springs.
"I offer free meals and rooms, plus access to the hot springs. But first, listen to my clue."
The group nodded. Blaine said, "There's a great flood above and a raging fire below." "That's it?" Ash asked, confused. "Yep, now, go figure it out." Blaine walked away. So Brock frowned. "A flood above and fire below. Is it a disaster?" Misty looked at Kai, who seemed uninterested. It must relate to water and fire. But Blaine mentioned free food and hot springs. "Let's rest first and then solve the puzzle." "Great idea," Brock agreed, knowing Misty's motives. They headed to the hotel's restaurant, where they enjoyed a lavish meal of sashimi, sushi, and miso soup. After eating, they explored the hotel for clues. Surprisingly, there were no other guests. "Blaine only opens this place for personal invites," Kai said. "If he ran it like a normal hotel, it'd go out of business." After resting, they changed into bathrobes and went to the open-air hot spring, which was divided by a wooden fence. As Kai relaxed, his phone buzzed with a message from a girl he hadn't heard from in a while. He smiled, thinking she's trying to move on. Brock interrupted. "You've been glued to that phone. Careful, staring at the screen isn't good for your eyes." Kai moved to shield his messages. "After all this travel, is there any girl you like?" "Of course," Brock replied. "As long as she's a beautiful older lady." "What about you, Ash?" Ash shook his head. "I want to be a Pokémon master. No time for crushes." Misty teased. "Then who is blushing at the Pokémon Academy over the top student's photo?" Ash blushed, scratching his cheek. Kai turned back to Brock. "So, anyone ever liked you?" Brock hesitated. "Not that I know of." "Why are you asking?" "Just curious," Kai smirked. Brock frowned, feeling offended. Suddenly, Misty shouted, "Togepi, come back." Kai snapped to attention. "What's wrong?" "Togepi's on the faucet. It might fall." Togepi was bouncing on a dragon-shaped faucet. As Misty reached for it, Togepi triggered a hidden mechanism. Click. A large rock beside the hot spring moved, revealing a dark passageway. The wooden divider collapsed, and Kai and Misty froze, facing each other. Misty turned red and quickly ducked into the water. Ash and Brock noticed. "Misty, why is your face so red?" Ash asked. "Mind your own business," she shot back. Kai chimed in. "Looks like Togepi found the entrance to the hidden battlefield. We owe it one." They got dressed and gathered by the hot spring. With the passage revealed, they ventured inside, spiraling down toward the heart of the volcano. The air grew hotter, but lit candles kept the tunnel from feeling oppressive. Finally, they reached a large iron door. Ash grabbed the handle, yelping in pain. "Ouch! It's burning hot!" Kai kicked it open, and steam billowed out, revealing a battlefield over bubbling magma. Blaine grinned. "I didn't think you'd find this place. Ready for a fiery battle?" "It's 2 battles," Kai said. "Both Ash and I are here to challenge you." Blaine chuckled. Cool. Who's up for the first 3-on-3 match?" Ash stepped forward eagerly. That'll be me. Misty called out, don't forget what you said earlier, Ash. We're counting on you to win the volcano badge. With determination, Ash nodded. Right, let's do this. Ash was full of confidence as he gave everyone a thumbs up, but Kai warned him, Blaine specializes in fire types and has the home field advantage. Stay sharp. I got it, Ash replied confidently. Blaine sent out his first Pokemon, Ninetales, its cream fur shimmering under the lava's glow. Ash countered with Squirtle, thinking he had the upper hand, but Ninetales quickly turned the tide with a fire spin, leaving Squirtle burned and unable to continue. Frustrated, Ash recalled Squirtle, muttering, How? I had the type advantage. Kai frowned. That Ninetales is strong. It's not just about type, it's strategy and experience. Determined, Ash sent out Charizard, which roared into the sky. Kai raised an eyebrow, so Charmander evolved into Charizard. My presence didn't change much. Blaine swapped Ninetales for Rhyhorn, which stomped onto the battlefield, but Charizard refused to fight, yawning and perching on a rock. Charizard, get back in there! Ash shouted, panic rising. Blaine smirked. A trainer who can't command their Pokemon is destined to lose. Since Charizard is out of bounds, I declare this match forfeited. Ash stood frozen, disbelief on his face. With no choice, he recalled Charizard and sent out Pikachu as his last hope. Pikachu struggled against Rhyhorn, but Ash refused to give up. He ordered Pikachu to use Agility. Combining Quick Attack and Iron Tail, Pikachu landed a critical hit, knocking Rhyhorn out. The group cheered as Blaine clapped. Impressive. But let's see how Pikachu handles my last Pokemon. Ash groaned as Blaine launched into one of his riddles. The hottest flame in the world, born from the heart of the magma. What could it be? Just send it out already. Ash snapped. Blaine released Magmar, which emerged dramatically from the magma. The battle began, but Pikachu was quickly overwhelmed by Magmar's Fire Punch and Flamethrower, ending with a powerful Fire Blast that left Pikachu unable to continue. Ash knelt, cradling Pikachu in disappointment. Blaine critiqued him. You lack discipline to command your team, especially with that Charizard. Train harder before challenging me again. Ash nodded, accepting the truth. Blaine turned to Kai. Do you still wish to challenge me? Kai's eyes were determined. Of course. But are your Pokemon ready after that fight? Blaine laughed. These old bones might tire, but my Pokemon are fiery as ever. Let's get started. Blaine sent out Rapidash, its mane blazing as it pawed the ground. Kai smiled and released Gyarados, which loomed over the battlefield with a deafening roar. Misty leaned over, whispering, Kai, Blaine is tough. Be careful. Kai nodded confidently. Don't worry. I've got this. Gyarados, use Aqua Tail. Rapidash stood firm. Rapidash used Stomp. Gyarados lashed its tail while Rapidash charged in. Gyarados struck first, sending Rapidash crashing away. As Rapidash struggled to its feet, Blaine shouted, Rapidash, use Flare Blitz. Rapidash ignited, charging at Gyarados. Kai calmly countered, Gyarados, Aqua Tail again. The two Pokemon collided, creating a steam explosion. Gyarados' Aqua Tail overpowered Rapidash, forcing it to retreat. Blaine furrowed his brow, realizing Gyarados was formidable. Rapidash, use Flame Wheel. Fireballs circled Rapidash as it prepared to charge, but Gyarados' intimidating display caused Rapidash to hesitate. This is it! Kai shouted. Gyarados, unleash outrage! Gyarados roared, entering a berserk state and smashing everything in its path. The battlefield shook violently, and when the dust settled, Rapidash lay unconscious in a crater. All right, Misty cheered, jumping up in excitement. Ash and Brock applauded. Blaine recalled Rapidash, shaken but ready for the next round. You're tougher than that kid earlier, but let's see how you handle this. With a flourish, he sent out Ninetales. Kai chose to stick with Gyarados. Gyarados, keep up the momentum. Blaine commanded, Ninetales, use Fire Spin. Kai smirked. Get Gyarados. Counter with Whirlpool. The two vortexes collided, and Gyarados' water overpowered the fire, hitting Ninetales directly. Ninetales, are you alright? Blaine asked, concerned. Use Confuse Ray. Dodge it, Kai ordered, but Gyarados was hit and became confused. Well done, Blaine said. Ninetales, use Quick Attack. Ninetales slammed into Gyarados, jolting it back to its senses. Gyarados. Aqua Tail. Gyarados swung its tail, but Ninetales dodged. Blaine commanded, "Confuse Ray again." Kai needed a plan. Spotting the heavy chains, he grinned. "Gyarados, break the chain next to you." Gyarados obeyed, smashing the chain and tilting the platform, causing Ninetales to lose balance. "What?" Blaine exclaimed. Seizing the moment, Kai shouted, "Gyarados, bite." Gyarados lunged, sinking its fangs into Ninetales, pinning it down. Despite struggling, Ninetales couldn't escape Gyarados' grip. Now, there's no escaping this. Kai took a deep breath and commanded, "Gyarados, finish it with Hydro Pump." A torrent of water shot from Gyarados' mouth, hitting Ninetales with unstoppable force. The elegant fire-type braced itself, but the powerful water-type move struck hard, causing Ninetales to cry out in defeat, joining Rapidash on the ground. But the Hydro Pump's momentum didn't stop there. It crashed into a heavy iron chain nearby. Crack! The sound echoed ominously as the unstable arena trembled violently before collapsing, dropping like an elevator with severed cables. Boom! The battlefield crashed onto the molten magma below, sending a fiery wave of lava surging upward. "Watch out!" Kai recalled Gyarados. Just in time, the heat wave rushing closer. Misty shouted in alarm, grabbing Kai's arm and pulling him to safety. Whoosh! Fiery rain poured down over the cavern, splashing onto the underground chamber. When the chaos subsided, the battlefield was reduced to smoldering ruins. Kai surveyed the wreckage, calm yet contemplative. He turned to Blaine, bowing slightly. "Mr. Blaine, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to destroy your gym." Blaine waved it off with a smile. "Don't worry, gyms can be rebuilt. The important thing is, everyone's safe. We'll move our final battle to a better spot." Kai nodded. "Understood. I'll be ready whenever you are." They exited the cavern, the oppressive heat giving way to cooler air outside. After a brief rest at the hotel, they followed Blaine to their new battleground. The path to Cinnabar Volcano was rugged, winding through steep cliffs and dense vegetation. As they climbed higher, the air shimmered with heat. "Is this safe?" Brock asked, eyeing the smoke rising from the crater. "What if the volcano erupts?" Blaine chuckled. "Relax, I've studied this volcano for decades. It's active, but not in danger of erupting." Kai noted Blaine's confidence, respecting his expertise, though the bubbling magma kept everyone on edge. Reaching the crater, they saw tall stone pillars jutting from the magma, their surfaces scorched black. "This'll be our battlefield," Blaine announced. "I hope you're ready, Kai." Kai analyzed the layout, realizing the limited mobility and the magma below meant no room for error. Blaine released his final Pokémon, a Magmar glowing with intense heat. "My final Pokémon is Magmar," Blaine said proudly. "If Gyarados was your strongest, you won't have a chance." Kai smiled faintly. "Gyarados is new to my team. I'm proud of its performance, but I've saved my best for last." Blaine raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Interesting. You're full of surprises." Kai focused on the task ahead and reached for his next Pokeball. "Blastoise, let's go." Blastoise. Blastoise emerged onto a stone pillar, its powerful cannons glinting in the magma's light. "Blastus, huh?" Blaine observed. "I expected something stronger." Kai met his gaze steadily. Every battle is an opportunity for growth. Even if Blastoise can't defeat Magmar, it can weaken it and gain experience. Blaine smiled. "Well said. You've taken my philosophy to heart." The battle began. Blastos, use water gun. Magmar, counter with fire punch. Blastos shot a jet of water, but Magmar dodged with agility, landing a precise fire punch that pushed Blastoise back. Kai analyzed the situation, realizing Blaine was using Magmar's speed to outmaneuver him. "Blastos, withdraw!" Blastoise retreated into its shell just as Magmar launched another fire punch, the attack glancing off harmlessly. "Magmar, toss it into the magma," Blaine commanded. Kai reacted quickly. "Blastoise, rapid spin." Blastoise spun rapidly in its shell, forcing Magmar to back off. The spinning shell launched into the air, slamming into Magmar with tremendous force. "Magmar, use flamethrower." Magmar unleashed flames, engulfing Blastoise. Despite the heat, Blastoise pushed forward, protected by its sturdy shell. Blastoise, Skull Bash. Blastoise charged at Magmar with its head lowered, sending it staggering. "Impressive," Blaine admitted. "Your Blastoise is tougher than I expected." Kai nodded, calm but determined. I wouldn't want it any other way. Despite the damage, Blastoise suffered a burn and had to extend its head out of its shell to keep fighting. There's an opening, Blaine shouted. Magmar, use Fire Punch. Magmar's fist rained down on Blastoise with relentless force. Blastoise, use Bubble Beam. Blastoise unleashed bubbles that collided with Magmar's Fire Punch in explosive bursts. Boom! Boom! Both Pokemon sustained injuries, retreating to separate pillars. Panting heavily, Blastoise's pained expression revealed the toll of the burn. Magmar, use Fire Blast. Magmar launched a massive fireball toward Blastoise. Seeing no way to evade, Kai had to confront the attack head-on. Unfortunately, Blastoise only had Water Gun to counter it. Water and fire clashed, creating a massive burst of steam. Blastoise's water gun lacked the power to extinguish Fire Blast completely, and the flames surged forward, engulfing Blastoise. When the flames dissipated, Blastoise collapsed, unable to continue. Blaine exhaled in relief. Looks like I finally won this round. Kai nodded, praising. Your Magmar is well trained. My Blastoise just couldn't keep up. Though he lost, Kai wasn't discouraged. Magmar's stamina was visibly diminished. Kai scanned the battlefield and decided, it's your turn, Kirlia. He tossed out a Pokeball, and Kirlia appeared on the battlefield. The battle resumed, but what happened next shocked everyone. Kirlia used Teleport, dodging Magmar's fiery attacks and creating a disadvantage. Finally, Kirlia delivered a decisive psychic blow, defeating Magmar with ease. Amazing! Blaine admitted, recalling Magmar. I thought it'd be a back-and-forth struggle, but Magmar had no chance against Kirlia. Kai hadn't expected to win so easily. Don't take it too hard, Mr. Blaine. My Kirlia's psychic abilities had a clear advantage. Blaine smiled, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a flame-shaped badge. He tossed it to Kai. Here, take the volcano badge. You've earned it. Kai caught the badge, joy lighting up his face. Off to the side, Ash stared at the badge with a somber expression, clenching Charizard's Pokeball. If only my Charizard would listen to me. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow, Blaine invited Kai and his friends to stay the night at the hotel. During dinner, Ash left the room early, his expression dark. Huh? Blaine asked, noticing Ash's departure. Where's he off to? Don't worry about him, Misty said, waving a hand. He's probably off to train again. He always bounces back stronger. Exactly, Kai agreed. I wouldn't be surprised if he challenges you first thing tomorrow. Oh, really? Blaine grinned, sipping sake. Then I'll look forward to it. Blaine turned to Kai. By the way, my hot springs are great for treating burns. Just take Blastoise to the hot springs. Later, Kai took Blastoise to the hot spring alone. Brock had gone to look for Ash, while Misty had disappeared after dinner. It's a rare opportunity, Kai said, releasing his Pokemon. Come on, everyone. Enjoy the hot spring. The Pokemon eagerly filled the pool. Kirlia soaked gracefully. Dratini floated belly up, and Ivysaur paddled around. Gyarados remained immobile due to its size, while Jolteon nervously paced the edge to keep its fur dry. Charmeleon dipped its toes in, wary of the water, while Haunter mischievously splashed everyone. Kai poured hot spring water over Blastoise's burned back with a wooden ladle. You did great today. Take a well-deserved rest. Just then, he saw Misty entering the hot spring, wrapped in a towel. Blushing at the sight of Kai's Pokemon, Misty hesitated before slipping into the water beside him. As she settled down, Kai's hand accidentally brushed against hers. Soft, smooth, and delicate. For a moment, Kai froze, the atmosphere growing awkward and tense. Kai quickly adjusted his posture, breaking the awkward silence. What a coincidence. Did you come to the hot spring too? I thought you'd be out with Brock looking for Ash. Misty swirled the water with her hand and shook her head. Why bother? He'll come back on his own. She then asked, since you earned the volcano badge, are you leaving Cinnabar Island tomorrow? Kai nodded. Yeah, now that I've got my 7th badge, it's time to continue my journey. Misty hesitated. Actually, sensing her hesitation, Kai interrupted. You know, I sometimes envy you 3. Eh? Misty looked surprised. Why? Traveling together, exploring, camping, and facing challenges sounds like a lot of fun, he said, pouring hot spring water over Blastoise. It's lonely traveling alone. Nearby, Haunter floated silent, giving Kai a comical glare. No one to talk to? What about me? Misty blinked and blurted, why not travel with us? Or I could travel with you. 2 people together would definitely be more fun. Kai gave her a gentle but firm look. I appreciate it, but what about Ash and Brock? Without you, who will keep Ash from getting lost or distracted? You're the glue holding that group together. Misty hesitated, realizing he had a point. If she left, it was hard to imagine Ash and Brock making it through the Indigo League on their own. Seeing her conflicted expression, Kai added, you don't have to rush. When your journey with Ash and Brock ends, there'll be plenty of time for us to travel together. That's true. Misty smiled, relieved. All right, it's a promise. We'll travel together next time.
Of course.
Kai chuckled. As long as you're still interested, we'll plan the ultimate journey. Misty grinned. I'm already looking forward to it. Just then, a small, round Pokémon bounced into the courtyard. Ah, it's a Jigglypuff, Misty exclaimed. Kai turned to see a pink, chubby Pokémon with big eyes and a marker-like microphone. He instantly understood Misty's alarm. If any wild Pokémon from Ash's journey left a lasting impression, it was this mischievous Jigglypuff known for putting everyone to sleep with its song. Wait, why is it here? Kai muttered, caught off guard. Before he could react, Jigglypuff raised its microphone and began to sing. No, don't sing, Misty shouted, but Jigglypuff ignored her. Jigglypuff? Jigglypuff? As the first note hit, Kai felt his eyelids grow heavy. He fought to stay awake, but his Pokémon slumped over, fast asleep. Misty leaned against him, her towel slipping. Before he could do anything, Kai's vision darkened and he fell unconscious. Later, he stirred awake to rustling. The moon hung high, casting light over the scene. His Pokémon were still asleep, and Misty, now turned away, quickly wrapped her towel around herself. Jigglypuff had vanished. Kai tried to move, but found his body weak from soaking too long. Fortunately, he woke up just in time. As Misty turned to check on him, and to Kai's surprise, there was no awkwardness. Instead, her face was decorated with crude, marker-drawn doodles from Jigglypuff. She couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity. The next morning, after saying goodbye to Ash, Blaine, and the others, Kai prepared for the next leg of his journey. Re-energized, he and his Pokémon set off for the mainland, traveling north along Cinnabar Island's coast before summoning Gyarados to cross the waves. As the wind rushed past, Kai left the island behind, brimming with new memories. His goal was to challenge the final gym leader for his 8th badge. However, a sudden whirlpool forced him to alter his course, landing him near Fuchsia City instead. Not a problem. Fuchsia City wasn't far from the mainland, and Kai decided to rest before continuing. Just as he sat down, a noise in the nearby forest caught his attention. He turned to see a bush pushed aside. A Pokémon holding a green onion confidently strolled out. It was a Farfetch'd. This Farfetch'd walked up to Kai, humming an unknown tune. Huh? It's not afraid of people? Kai glanced around, but saw no other humans. Could it be a wild Farfetch'd? Seeing Kai wasn't moving, the Farfetch'd began pacing back and forth, trying to get his attention, but Kai wasn't particularly interested. While he liked Farfetch'd, he didn't feel the need to capture it. Then he recalled a recent conversation with Ash about a thief who used a Farfetch'd to commit crimes. Could this Farfetch'd be one of those? With a plan forming, Kai decided to play along. A Farfetch'd, are you trying to get me to catch you? He pulled a Pokeball from his bag dramatically. Hearing this, the Farfetch'd quacked excitedly and fled into the bushes. Kai pretended to be anxious, rushing after it, but when he rounded the trees, the Farfetch'd was gone. Ah, Kai sighed theatrically. I lost it. Just as he finished, the Farfetch'd reappeared nearby, its exaggerated movements almost comical, as if to say, I'm here! Come catch me! Kai smirked and ignored it, turning back. Sure enough, back at his starting point, he spotted a boy with a ponytail reaching for his backpack. Kai stared coldly. So, you've been hiding, and now you can't resist making a move. The boy froze, caught in the act. What? He stammered, looking at Kai in disbelief. Didn't you go after the Farfetch'd? Of course not. How else could I flush you out? Kai felt satisfied with his performance. If he ever retired as a Pokémon trainer, he might consider acting in Kalos. Suddenly, hurried footsteps echoed behind him. The Farfetch'd, realizing something was wrong, rushed back to block the boy. Kai glanced at them, Ash and Misty told me about a thief using a Farfetch to steal from travelers. I thought you turned over a new leaf, but I was wrong. I should have known Officer Jenny made a mistake letting you go. The boy's expression shifted. He hadn't forgotten his encounter with Ash, where he swore to change his ways. Realizing his scheme was exposed, he grabbed the backpack and turned to flee. But before he could escape, the bag floated out of his grasp, as if it had sprouted wings. Under his stunned gaze, it flew back into Kai's hands. The boy stammered. Kai rolled his eyes. Did you really think I'd leave my belongings unprotected? Haunter emerged, grinning mischievously. Hello there, Mr. Thief, it said with a ghostly chuckle. Darn it, the boy cursed and bolted. He's running, Haunter noted with amusement. I see that, Kai replied calmly, releasing Kirlia. Stop him. Kirlia nodded and teleported, blocking the fleeing boy's path. No, I'm sorry, the boy stammered, hands raised. I was wrong. Please forgive me. Kai shook his head. If apologies were enough, we wouldn't need Officer Jenny. If I hadn't been prepared, someone else would have fallen victim to you. The boy tried one last sympathy appeal. My Farfetch'd is too weak. We had to steal to survive. Kai narrowed his eyes. Don't make excuses. If you're willing to work hard, you can make it anywhere. I can't stand bullies. This time you're facing the consequences. No sweet talking will save you. Realizing this act wouldn't work, the boy dropped the pretense. You think you can take me on? Fine. Let's see what you've got. Are we battling by standard rules or my rules? Kai asked, unfazed. Your rules? What's the difference? The boy snapped. Kai shrugged. Not much. A battle's a battle. Enough talk, the boy exclaimed. Let's see if you can handle my Farfetch'd. Kai swiftly reached for his waist and threw several Pokeballs at once. In a flash of blue light, Charmeleon, Blastoise, Jolteon, Ivysaur, and Kirlia emerged, surrounding the boy in an intimidating formation. What the? The boy's stunned expression as he glanced between Kai's determined Pokemon and his own Farfetch'd was priceless. Didn't you say we'd battle according to the rules? He exclaimed. Kai smirked. These are my rules. I don't play by the old rules. When it comes to annoying people, I believe in using strength and numbers. The boy was momentarily speechless before muttering, You're shameless. Oh, thank you for the compliment, Kai replied without a hint of shame. He gestured to his Pokemon. Take him down. The Pokemon charged forward. Easily overpowering, Farfetch'd, Ivysaur quickly bound the boy's wrists with Fine Whip, making escape impossible. Kai called the police, without hesitation, panicked. The boy pleaded desperately, but Kai ignored him. When the boy's pleas turned to curses, Kai calmly stuffed a small rock into his mouth and taped it shut, silencing him. Not long after, Officer Jenny arrived on her motorcycle, skidding to a stop in front of Kai, exhaust fumes swirling around her. Who called the police? She asked, authoritatively. That would be me, Kai replied, stepping forward and waving off the smoke. After explaining the situation, Officer Jenny glared at the boy, her eyes blazing. Keith, I didn't think you'd still be causing trouble. No amount of begging will help you now. You're coming with me. Keith struggled, but Officer Jenny didn't loosen the vines. She snapped cold handcuffs onto his wrist and shoved him into the police car before speeding away. Bye-bye, Kai watched her leave, calm as ever. To him, this was just a minor incident dealt with swiftly. Before leaving, Officer Jenny mentioned something intriguing. Just outside Fuchsia City, a long sea-crossing bridge was under construction. This route would save considerable travel time. And since Sunnytown was near Cerulean City and Saffron City, Kai could detour to retrieve the Silph Scope Sabrina had lent him. With no urgent need to challenge the gym, Kai decided to adjust his plans and head towards Saffron City. After passing through bustling Fuchsia City and its sprawling markets, Kai finally reached the northern coastline. Before him stretched the sea-crossing bridge, an impressive 20-kilometer structure built from reinforced concrete supported by hundreds of piers. Walking across it would take hours, well into the night. At the entrance, Kai noticed fencing and security guards nearby. Though the bridge wasn't officially open, pedestrians and cyclists could still cross. As he approached, a guard leaned out of the gatehouse. Planning to cross the bridge, sir? He asked. Kai nodded, but the guard shook his head. Sorry, walking isn't allowed. You'll need a bicycle. Kai frowned, recalling this rule but unwilling to give up. Can't you make an exception? The guard offered a sheepish smile. Sorry, rules are rules. Sighing, Kai considered having Blastoise ferry him across, when a noisy group of teenagers appeared, riding modified bicycles and drawing everyone's attention. The guard groaned. Them again. They come here every day, causing a ruckus. Kai raised an eyebrow at the so-called bicycle gang. Bicycle delinquents, that's a new low. They're just kids, maybe 17 or 18. They don't have the money for motorcycles, but they'll graduate to being full-blown road hooligans, the guard explained. Kai observed the group. Does no one try to stop them? They're annoying, but not breaking the law. Arresting them would cause a riot with their parents, the guard replied. As the gang came to a stop nearby, a bold idea struck Kai. He stepped forward, blocking their path. One gang member sneered, "Hey, who do you think you are?" "Move it." Kai grinned, holding up a Pokeball. "I need a bicycle to cross the bridge. How about a challenge? If I win, you lend me a bike." The leader, a young man with a flaming red afro, removed his sunglasses and scoffed. "You? Challenge us? Do you even know who we are?" "Nope," Kai said cheerfully. "But are you in or out?" The leader smirked, jerking his thumb toward a nearby clearing. We're in. Follow me to our battleground. No one's dared challenge us before." In the seaside battlefield, Kai stood calmly in the trainer's command area, facing the brash young man. Around them, a dozen bikers in wild outfits watched with sneers. "Take him down, Martha," one yelled. "Show him who's boss," shouted another. Martha confidently stepped forward, producing a Pokeball. "Come out, Golem." With a flash of light, a massive Pokemon resembling a boulder appeared. Kai smiled faintly, reaching for his own Pokeball. "Kirlia, let's go." In a flash, Kirlia appeared, standing gracefully with its flowing gown-like body. The bikers gasped. "What kind of Pokemon is that?" one exclaimed. A girl with dark green hair chimed in. "It's so beautiful. Is it called Kirlia?" Martha scoffed, trying to mask his unease. "Don't get cocky. Golem, roll out." Golem spun rapidly, barreling toward Kirlia like an unstoppable boulder. Kai remained composed. "Kirlia, use Psychic." Kirlia raised her arms, glowing as Golem was enveloped in blue light. It stopped mid-roll, suspended in the air, and slammed to the ground. "Arg!" Martha gritted his teeth. "It's a psychic type." Golem struggled back up, seemingly unharmed. "Use Rock Throw," Martha commanded. Boulders hurled toward Kirlia, but with a flash of teleportation, she dodged effortlessly, reappearing unscathed. Before Golem could react, Kirlia's psychic gripped it again and smashed it down. This time, Kirlia followed up with Magical Leaf. The glowing leaves sliced through Golem's defenses with precision. "Quick, use Harden," Martha shouted in desperation. But it was too late. The attack landed with devastating effect. Golem collapsed, unable to continue. Martha stood speechless as the bikers around him fell silent. I lost," he muttered. Before long, the green-haired girl stepped forward with a confident smirk. "Impressive, but defeating him isn't enough. If you want our respect, you'll have to beat me too." The gang erupted in cheers. "Yeah, show him, Misha." "Teach this guy a lesson, boss." Misha released her Pokémon with a flourish. "Come out, Cloyster." The icy water type materialized, its shell snapping shut menacingly. Kai assessed the situation calmly. "Kirlia, start with Psychic." Kirlia's aura enveloped Cloyster, but its shell closed tightly, rendering the attack ineffective. Misha grinned. "You can't crack Cloyster's defense that easily. Let's see what you've got." Kirlia tried Magical Leaf, but the leaves scraped harmlessly against Cloyster's shell. Misha seized the moment. Now, Aurora Beam. Cloyster fired a dazzling beam of icy energy straight at Kirlia. "Teleport," Kai commanded. Kirlia vanished, reappearing safely behind Cloyster. The battle fell into a tense stalemate, with Cloyster retreating into its shell after each attack. The bikers jeered. "See? You can't beat Cloyster's defenses. Give it up already." Kai, however, remained unfazed, carefully analyzing the battlefield. "It's tricky, but not unbeatable. I just need to exploit the right moment." Cloyster stood as an impenetrable fortress, like a sealed tin can, impossible to crack without the right tools. Kai scanned the surroundings and noticed a young man with a golden chain swaying at his waist. An idea sparked in his mind. "Kirlia, use Psychic to lift Cloyster into the air," he commanded. Misha sneered. "Are you trying the same thing again? It won't make a difference." Ignoring her taunts, Kai shouted, "Good! Now spin it around fast." "What?" Misha exclaimed in disbelief. Terolia's fingers twitched, and Cloyster began spinning in midair like a windmill, faster and faster. The gang members below grew dizzy, watching the spectacle. Then, with a loud crash, Cloyster was hurled to the ground. Boom. Though its shell appeared intact, Misha called out cautiously, Cloyster, are you okay? Cloyster's shell creaked open slightly, looking disoriented and expelling a vile mixture of yellow and green fluids. The pungent smell filled the air. I can't believe it actually worked, Kai murmured. Curlia, don't let it recover. Use magical leaf. Seeing Curlia prepare for another attack, Misha shouted, Cloyster, retreat into your shell. But Cloyster was too dazed to respond. Magical leaves struck again and again. Whack! Whack! Despite its defenses, Cloyster couldn't shake off the damage. After a final flurry of glowing leaves, it let out a low groan and fainted. Kai smirked. Looks like I've won. Before Misha could respond, a brilliant white light engulfed Curlia. Its evolving, Kai muttered, filled with awe. Curlia, his first Pokémon, was evolving into Gardevoir. As the light faded, a tall, elegant figure emerged. Gardevoir's flowing gown and regal appearance impressed everyone. The Pokédex chimed in. Gardevoir, the embraced Pokémon, psychic and fairy type. Gardevoir can sense emotions and predict the future, even creating black holes to protect its trainer. Wow, Misha exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. It's even more beautiful. Gardevoir walked gracefully to Kai's side. He reached out to pat its head, but stopped, realizing it was now nearly as tall as he was. Congratulations, Gardevoir, Kai said with a soft smile. You've reached your final form. Misha and Martha approached. You're incredible, Martha admitted. We lost fair and square. Misha signaled to a gang member who wheeled over a bicycle. As agreed, you can borrow this bike, but we'll follow you to ensure it's returned. That's fine with me, Kai replied. After recalling Gardevoir, Kai mounted the bike and pedaled toward the bridge, with the gang following closely behind. As he passed the security checkpoint, the guard gave him an admiring nod. Kai entered the sprawling, unfinished bridge. But far in the distance, a figure stood atop a building, watching through binoculars. Confirming Kai's identity, the observer dialed a number. Target number 7 has been spotted near Fuchsia City, crossing the sea bridge towards Sunnytown. A raspy voice on the other end replied, Understood. Keep following him. I'll inform the enforcers. Kai pedaled along the smooth bridge for over half an hour before reaching a rest area. Just as he was about to stop, an unseen force yanked him off the bike, flinging him several meters away. Boom! A powerful explosion obliterated the bicycle and left a gaping hole in the bridge. Stunned, Kai stared at the scene while the gang members behind him slammed their brakes in shock. What just happened? One shouted. Why did the bike explode? They exchanged confused glances, but Kai's attention was fixed on the bridge pillar above, where 4 figures stood coldly. It was Team Rocket executives Archer, Ariana, Proton, and Petrol, the same 4 who had crossed paths with Kai before. Martha shouted, Who are you? Dare to attack us, the Fuchsia Bosazoku. Do you have a death wish? Archer glanced disdainfully. Fuchsia Bosazoku? What a worthless group. Team Rocket is conducting business here. Move aside unless you want to regret it. Team Rocket? Martha's bravado faded. He turned to Misha and whispered nervously, Are these guys from Team Rocket, like those 2 bumbling grunts, Jesse and James? Misha nodded. Looks like it. Then what should we do? Martha asked, trembling. Obviously we stay out of it, Misha hissed. They're dangerous. Let's leave before we get involved. But Martha hesitated, glancing at their damaged bicycle. They blew up our bike. Shouldn't we? Idiot. Misha smacked him on the forehead. Why worry about the bike when our lives are at stake? Let's go. She dragged him aside hurriedly. Kai ignored their argument, focusing on the 4 Team Rocket executives. It's rare for all 4 of you to show up together. What's the occasion? It's a Team Rocket circus event. Archer smirked. You're lucky to still be standing after that attack. We're here to settle the score for what you did to our base. Kai spread his arms in mock confusion. Revenge? Shouldn't you be after Interpol or the Elite Four? I'm just a small fry who happened to be there. Operation? Elite Four? Interpol? Martha and Misha exchanged stunned glances at the mention of such significant figures. What kind of person had they encountered? Petrol crossed his arms menacingly. We've dealt with them, now it's your turn. You've interfered in our plans too often. Oh, Kai frowned. So, no one is safe from your schemes. Exactly, Ariana said, with a sinister laugh. By Giovanni's direct order, you're to be eliminated. Hearing Giovanni's name, Kai's expression hardened. He realized there was no escaping this fight. He reached for his Pokeballs. Archer raised an eyebrow. Oh, not planning to run, are you? Run? Kai shook his head. If I ran, you'd just keep coming after me. I want to end this once and for all. Ha, at least you're not a complete coward. Proton sneered. Let's see how long that bravado lasts. The four executives released their Pokemon Magmortar, Houndoom, Arbok, Murkrow, Golbat, and Weezing, forming a blockade. Kai, unfazed, released his own team, Gardevoir, Gyarados, Jolteon, Charmeleon, Blastoise, and Ivysaur. His Pokemon stood tall, ready for battle. Archer smirked, surveying Kai's team. No Zapdos or Haunter this time? You must really be underestimating us. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed. Archer's Tyranitar stepped forward, glaring fiercely. It had caused the earlier attack. Kai pulled out his mask and placed it over his face, his expression resolute. If you think I'll hold back, you're dead wrong. He gripped a Pokeball tightly. All my cards are on the table. He threw the ball with force, releasing Zapdos. The legendary Pokemon spread its wings, letting out a thunderous cry. Martha and Misha froze in shock. Wait, is that... Martha stammered. Yes, Misha whispered, her eyes wide. That's the masked trainer, the one who's been all over the internet lately. With both sides prepared, the battle erupted in a flurry of powerful moves. Psychic blasts, water guns, flamethrowers, razor leaves, and thunderbolts filled the air, creating chaos as Pokemon collided in a battlefield of energy and destruction. Tyranitar charged toward Kai, but Gyarados intercepted it, creating shockwaves. Magmortar targeted Ivysaur, but Blastoise launched a water cannon to keep it at bay. Murkrow dove at Gardevoir, only to be struck down by Jolteon's Thunderbolt. As the intense battle raged, Kai's mind focused on anticipating his opponent's every move. But just as he dodged a poison jab aimed at him, a voice called out from the sea beneath the bridge. Kai looked down from the bridge and spotted a speedboat speeding toward him. On board were the 5 members of the Matori Matrix. Checks, what a persistent bunch. Looks like they've sent everyone this time, he muttered. The speedboat stopped beneath the bridge, and led by Gozu, the Matori Matrix members climbed up using grappling hooks. As they landed, Archer smirked. They were just backup to intercept you if you tried to escape, but you stayed and had the nerve to fight back. Their ambush wasn't needed after all. The Matori Matrix released their Pokemon, tilting the odds further against Kai. He was outnumbered, facing powerful Pokemon like Tyranitar and Aggron. They had even chosen Pokemon specifically to counter Zapdos, his electric flying-type powerhouse, deploying 4 Appletoon, small, apple-like dragon grass types from the Galar region. Appletoon used Dragon Breath, one of the Matori Matrix commanded. The 4 Appletoons surrounded Zapdos in midair, bombarding it with energy beams. Zapdos screeched angrily and retaliated with Thunderbolt, but the attacks barely scratched the Appletoon. Ha ha ha! Proton laughed. Your Zapdos is useless now. Meanwhile, the massive Aggron stomped forward, charging at Kai like a tank. Kai's Haunter moved to block Aggron's advance, but struggled against the Steel-type powerhouse. So you're determined to take me down today, huh? Kai said, steady despite the overwhelming odds. Let me put it this way, Proton sneered. The bridge is surrounded, both ends are blocked, no one's coming to save you. Kai smirked, calm. Good to know, that means I don't have to hold back. He reached for an Ultra Ball at his waist. Seeing this, Archer frowned. Another Pokemon, what else could he have? Whatever it is, don't let him release it. Tyranitar, use Hyper Beam. RRS, Tyranitar roared, unleashing a devastating beam of energy. Before the attack could connect, Gardevoir appeared beside Kai, teleporting in to form a protective barrier with Psychic. In that moment, Kai hurled the Ultra Ball high into the air. Come out, Articuno! A flash of blue light filled the area as a majestic Articuno emerged, its shimmering feathers reflecting the light. The temperature dropped sharply, and a chilling wind swept across the bridge. Articuno? Ariana gasped. Impossible. How does he have 2 legendary birds? This wasn't in the reports, Archer growled. Has he acquired new Pokemon since the last operation? Ignoring their astonishment, Kai commanded, Articuno, take out the Appletoon with Blizzard. Articuno flapped its wings, summoning a howling snowstorm that engulfed the Appletoon in seconds. When the storm cleared, the 4 Appletoon lay motionless, knocked out by their quadruple weakness to Ice-type moves. With their interference gone, Zapdos soared higher into the sky, joining Articuno. Screo, the 2 legendary birds cried out in unison, reversing the tide of battle. Zapdos, Articuno, show them your true power. Use Blizzard and Thunder. The 2 Pokémon ascended even higher, dark storm clouds gathering, rumbling with thunder and unleashing swirling snowflakes. The sky darkened ominously, lightning arcing through the clouds. Stop them! Archer barked. Focus all attacks on those 2. Team Rocket's Pokémon launched their strongest moves, but Zapdos and Articuno were flying too high. The attacks fizzled out long before reaching their targets. Seizing the moment, Kai recalled his other Pokémon, ensuring they were safe from the incoming storm. Snow piled on the bridge as the legendary birds reached peak power. Suddenly, a blinding bolt of lightning struck down, accompanied by an icy blizzard. The combined force of electricity and cold devastated Team Rocket's Pokémon. Sparks flew across the bridge as lightning coursed through the melting snow, amplifying the damage. When the storm subsided, only Tyranitar remained standing, scorched and battered. How could this happen? Ariana exclaimed.
Damn it! Proton Grout! Our entire force wiped out.
Seeing the hopeless situation, Archer ordered, this operation is over. Recall your Pokémon and retreat immediately. What? Ariana shouted. We spent so many resources, and now we're just leaving? We have no choice, Archer said grimly, glaring at Kai. Our intel was lacking. We underestimated his strength and didn't expect him to have an Articuno. With that, the Matori Matrix and other Team Rocket members began retreating, leaving Kai victorious on the bridge. Their departure was subdued. Faces marked with frustration, they had arrived with confidence, only to leave in defeat. The bridge was left in ruins, riddled with potholes and exposed steel and concrete. Thankfully, it hadn't collapsed entirely, but reconstruction would be delayed yet again. After recalling all his Pokémon, except Haunter and Gardevoir, Kai pulled out his phone and dialed Looker's number. When the call connected, Kai quickly explained the situation. This was definitely retaliation. Looker sighed. It's not just you. Several Interpol facilities have been targeted recently. Even Lance and Agatha were attacked yesterday. Kai tensed. What about Sabrina and Erica? Are they safe? Hey! Looker grumbled. Annoyed. You never ask how I'm doing first. Kai blinked, caught off guard. Sorry, so... Were you attacked too? Of course not. Kai cut himself off, exasperated, then why bring it up? Can't you be serious? Their exchange carried an air of familiarity, the kind that comes with time and trust. Looker laughed. Don't worry. The League gyms are in busy cities, making them inconvenient for Team Rocket to target. Erica and Sabrina are fine. Kai felt relief, but resolved to check in with the gym leaders later. Looker continued, You seem awfully concerned about those two. Is there something more? Kai frowned defensively. It's none of your business. You involved them in this whole rocket mess. If they got hurt, I'd feel responsible. They bantered back and forth, lightening the tension. Just as Kai was about to hang up, something occurred to him. By the way, the bridge was badly damaged during the fight. Can I just leave it like this? There was a pause before Looker replied, his voice heavy with concern. How bad is it? You know, while Interpol's global, funding for the Kanto region is limited. After grumbling about budget issues, Looker reassured him, Don't worry about it. Just leave the area. I'll send a team to handle repairs. Kai ended the call, but soon heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw the Basuzoku gang cautiously approaching. Martha, their leader, rubbed her hands together, wearing an overly enthusiastic expression. You're incredible. Truly amazing. Kai raised an eyebrow. Not long ago, this group had kept their distance, yet now they were practically falling over themselves in admiration. Sighing, Kai decided to remove his mask, meeting their wide-eyed stares. About my identity, Kai began. Martha quickly interrupted, nodding fervently. Don't worry, we'll keep your secret safe. Not a word about today's events will leave our mouths. The rest of the gang chimed in, thumping their chests with exaggerated enthusiasm. We swear to keep your identity confidential. Kai wasn't entirely convinced. Could these people really be trusted? Waving his hand dismissively, he said, "Stop calling me you. It's weird. Also, that bike I borrowed, it was destroyed by Team Rocket, so I can't return it." "Big bro, don't worry about the bike," Martha exclaimed. "We've got plenty more. Take as many as you want." "Big bro?" Kai echoed, incredulous. "Yes, please let us call you that." Martha's eyes sparkled with admiration. "Since we saw that video of you fighting the giant Tentacruel, we've thought you were the coolest. After today's battle, seeing Zapdos and Articuno's power firsthand, we're in awe." Even Misha, usually aloof, nodded eagerly. "To have 2 legendary Pokemon under your command, you're incredible, big bro. Our respect for you is as unshakable as this bridge once was." The rest of the gang joined in unison, shouting, "Please let us follow you, big bro." Kai pinched the bridge of his nose, overwhelmed by their sudden shift in attitude. Just moments ago, they'd kept their distance, and now this? "Appreciate the offer, but I'm not interested in having followers," Kai said firmly. As he turned to leave, he heard the distinct sound of knees hitting the ground behind him. When he turned back, the gang was kneeling, hands clasped together, expressions pleading. "Big bro!" Kai sighed. "I'm sorry, but I don't lead gangs. Besides, weren't you all calling Jesse and James your big siblings not too long ago?" Misha waved it off. "That was ages ago. Back then, they did flashy stunts that caught attention. But now they've joined Team Rocket, so we've cut ties." Martha nodded. "We're not loyal to them anymore. You're so much cooler." Kai shook his head again. "I'm just a trainer. What could you want from me?" "Anything." Misha said quickly, "If you join the Pokemon League, we'll be your support team. If you're fighting Team Rocket, we'll fight alongside you." Kai groaned. They were persistent, no doubt about that. Martha leaned forward, his tone earnest. "Then at least tell us your name, big bro." "My name is Kai, and as I mentioned earlier, I am a Pokemon trainer." "Brother Kai, please accept us." Annoyed by their persistence, Kai eventually relented. He figured he might not visit Fuchsia City again anytime soon, and agreeing now was just an easier way to stop their pestering. "I won't be your boss," Kai clarified, "but we can get along as friends." "Brother Kai is so kind," Martha exclaimed joyfully. "Today, we've decided to recognize you as our leader. No matter what happens, we'll follow your example, big brother." "Follow my example," Kai thought, shaking his head. "As long as you don't betray me, I'll consider myself lucky." After some chatting and handling their enthusiasm, Kai hopped on his new bicycle, surrounded by Martha and the others, and continued towards Sunnytown. They chatted incessantly, sharing stories of their past. During this conversation, Kai realized the so-called Fuchsia Gang was just a loose group of troublemakers. They smoked, ran red lights, littered, harassed others, and made loud noises. Their worst offense, graffiti on walls. In truth, they were childhood friends who formed this group to relieve stress from school and work. Under Misha and Martha's leadership, they spent their free time riding bikes and venting frustrations. Understanding this softened Kai's impression of them. They were just ordinary people trying to find joy in life. After about an hour, Kai crossed the bridge with cheers from the group. "Brother Kai, don't forget us. Come back to visit." "Sure, next time," Kai replied, waving goodbye. Leaving the group behind, he entered Sunnytown's Pokemon Center to recover. Once ready, he resumed his journey towards Saffron City. Alone again, Kai contacted Sabrina and Erica to check on their safety. As the looker had claimed, they hadn't been attacked, but Kai urged them to remain cautious. The sky above was scattered with slow-moving clouds, and bird Pokemon flew overhead. While passing a field, Kai witnessed a herd of Tauros galloping into the distance, under the orange hues of the setting sun. It reminded him of wildlife migrations he'd seen on TV, so he snapped a few photos before continuing. By nightfall, Kai arrived in a small mountain town called Stone Town. Once a mining hub, it had earned its name due to occasional discoveries of Pokemon evolution stones. The town was quaint, with mostly 2- or 3-story buildings. As Kai searched for a place to stay, he discovered there was no Pokemon Center due to the small population. Approaching the only hotel, he was met with surprising news. "What? Fully booked?" "I'm afraid so," the shopkeeper said apologetically. "The last room was just taken." Seeing Kai's disappointment, the shopkeeper suggested, "Hey, you're a trainer, right? There's a manor nearby hosting an evolution party. The owner is generous and often provides free food and lodging to trainers. You might want to try your luck there. Thanks, I'll check it out, Kai replied, not wanting to camp outdoors. At the manor, he and his Gardevoir caught the attention of 3 young men in gym outfits. One, dressed in a yellow vest, greeted him with a grin. Another trainer, are you here to evolve your Pokémon too? No, Kai explained. I was hoping to stay the night. I can pay if necessary. Another brother with blue hair waved dismissively. No need. Trainers are always welcome. Kai noticed the Pokémon at their feet. A Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon, Kai mused. So, this is where the Eevee brothers live. Smiling, he said, what a coincidence. I have an Eevee too. Oh? The brothers' curiosity was piqued. You have an Eevee? The one in yellow asked eagerly. What did you evolve it into? Jolteon? Flareon? Vaporeon? Or did you leave it as it is? Before Kai could answer, they started arguing among themselves. It must be a Jolteon. It's the strongest. Ridiculous. Flareon is obviously the most powerful. Flareon? It doesn't stand a chance against my Vaporeon. After some heated exchanges, they turned back to Kai. So, which Eevee evolution is the strongest? Kai smiled, releasing his Jolteon. Each Eevee evolution has its strengths, so there's no definitive answer. But if I had to choose, I'd say my Jolteon is the strongest. The brothers burst into laughter, reigniting their debate. You really dare to say that? The young man in yellow was momentarily stunned before looking at Kai's Jolteon with admiration. So, you like Jolteon too? I never expected to meet someone with the same taste. Oh, right? I'm Sparky, and these are my brothers, Rainer and Pyro. Rainer and Pyro extended their hands. Nice to meet you, Kai said, shaking their hands. I'm Kai. Pleasure to meet you all. It was evident their love for Eevee and its evolutions ran deep, influencing their entire appearance. You said your Jolteon is the strongest? Pyro challenged immediately. That's a bold claim. How about we battle to prove it? Before Kai could reply, Rainer stepped forward. As the elder brother, I should go first.
I don't mind, Kai replied, glancing around at the trainers gathering to watch. But are we battling here? This doesn't look like an official battlefield.
Of course not, Sparky interjected. There's a battle facility behind the courtyard. But let's invite our guests inside to rest first. Indeed, Rainer agreed. Stopping a guest at the door is hardly proper hospitality. Following the brothers, Kai entered the manor. Inside the grand hall, dozens of trainers enjoyed a lavish buffet, chatting amicably. Pokémon wandered around, some playing, some misbehaving, but all were content. Sparky turned to Kai. We have a few matters to attend to. Someone will show you to your room shortly. Please make yourself at home. As the brothers departed, Kai grabbed a quick bite. While exploring, he noticed the siblings in the courtyard, carrying evolutionary stones, preparing to help Pokémon evolve. Their generosity left Kai with admiration. The nearby trainer smiled and commented, Sparky, Rainer, and Pyro are genuinely kind. Thanks to them, trainers flock here every week for help with evolution. Even my Poliwhirl evolved into Poliwrath with Rainer's help. Kai nodded, impressed. That's remarkable. Reflecting on himself, Kai admitted he could never be as selfless as they were. Soon after, Sparky returned, accompanied by a young boy about 5 or 6 years old, holding an Eevee in his arms.
This is our youngest brother, Mikey. He and his Eevee wanted to watch the battle.
I didn't, Mikey protested, his face flushing red. You guys told me to watch so I can decide what Eevee should evolve into. Noticing Kai's expression, Sparky asked, is something wrong? Kai shook his head with a smile. Nothing. Yeah, I once knew a kid named Mikey. His surname was Ketchum, and he had a trusty partner. Together, they overcame countless challenges. Really? Mikey's eyes lit up. Can you introduce him to me? Unfortunately, I haven't seen him since I was a child. That's a shame, Mikey sighed, disappointed. The group reached the backyard where a well-equipped battlefield awaited, designed to test a Pokemon's adaptability. Hearing about the battle, other trainers gathered, cheering for the popular brothers. Sparky stepped into the center of the field as the referee. The rules are simple. You can only use Eevee or its evolutions. Are both sides ready? Kai walked to the challenger's side, gesturing for his Jolteon to take the field. Who's going first? He asked. Rainer and Pyro exchanged looks before Rainer stepped forward. As the elder brother, I'll start. Pyro grumbled but moved to the sidelines. Rainer's Vaporeon leaped onto the field, facing Kai's Jolteon. Sparky raised his hand. Battle start. Vaporeon, use water gun, Rainer commanded. A powerful stream of water shot from Vaporeon's mouth. Jolteon countered with Thundershock. Kai shouted. Electricity sparked from Jolteon, traveling along the water stream and hitting Vaporeon head-on. The type disadvantage left Vaporeon at a clear loss. Jolteon, use Quick Attack, Kai ordered. Vaporeon, counter with Quick Attack, Rainer called out. Both Pokemon dashed toward each other, but Jolteon's superior speed gave it the edge. Jolteon struck Vaporeon first, sending it tumbling into a nearby pool. From the looks of it, Vaporeon had completely merged with the water in the pool. It was impossible to tell where it was hiding, and even as it moved, there were no splashes or ripples. What an impressive ability. Jolteon, stay alert. Jolteon, sharp and vigilant, kept its eyes on the water's surface. Uneasy in this unfamiliar situation, it paced by the poolside, hesitant to enter the water due to the disadvantage it would face. Vaporeon, use Water Pulse. At Rainer's command, a powerful orb of water shot from the pool, striking Jolteon before it could react. Although Jolteon braced itself, the speed of the attack left no time to dodge. Splash. Fortunately, Water Pulse wasn't particularly strong against electric types. It pushed Jolteon back a few steps, but caused only minor damage, and it remained composed. Vaporeon briefly surfaced before vanishing again. Is it planning to keep hiding? Kai muttered. Without hesitation, he shouted, Jolteon, aim for the pool and use discharge. Electric sparks crackled across Jolteon's fur as it released a surge of electricity directly into the water. Zee. The pond sizzled and boiled as electricity surged through it. Vaporeon tried to leap out to avoid the attack, but it was too late. The electricity coursed through its body, wrapping it in crackling light. Vaporeon cried out in pain, struggling to climb onto the shore. Its movements labored. Finish it off, Jolteon. Use Thunder Fang. Jolteon leapt forward, electricity sparking from its teeth as it sank them into Vaporeon's side. With 2 consecutive super effective hits, Vaporeon collapsed, unable to continue. Rainer raised his hand. Vaporeon is unable to battle. Jolteon wins. Cheers erupted from the crowd as trainers whispered in amazement. Did you see that? He defeated Rainer's Vaporeon. This guy knows his stuff. Yeah, but his face isn't familiar. Is he from around here? Rainer gently picked up his fainted Vaporeon, sighing in disappointment. I lost. Compared to me and my younger brother, your Jolteon is definitely superior. Kai smiled politely. Your Vaporeon is strong too. This battle helped my Jolteon improve. Kai knew his victory wasn't something to boast about. Jolteon had both a type advantage and more experience. At that moment, Pyro stepped forward, brimming with enthusiasm. Now it's my turn, he declared, pushing Rainer aside. My Flareon has no disadvantage against your Jolteon. We'll see whose evolution is stronger. True to his fiery nature, Pyro didn't wait for Kai to confirm his readiness before sending out Flareon. Its crimson fur gleamed in the sunlight, adding to its intimidating appearance. Kai crouched down and asked Jolteon softly, Are you still good to go? Jolteon nodded confidently. Kai grinned. All right, I'll count on you again. Flareon used Fire Spin, Pyro shouted. Flareon unleashed a swirling vortex of fire, aiming to trap Jolteon, but Jolteon's quick reflexes allowed it to leap out of harm's way so fast. But let's see how many times you can dodge, Pyro exclaimed. Flareon, keep attacking. Jolteon, use Quick Attack. Jolteon darted forward in a blur, evading the fire spin and ramming into Flareon. The impact caused Flareon to stagger back, but it quickly regained its footing. Not bad, Pyro grinned. Flareon used Fire Fang. Flareon lunged forward, fiery fangs bared. Jolteon couldn't dodge in time and was bitten, twisting its body to shake Flareon off. Jolteon used Discharge. Kai commanded. Lightning burst from Jolteon, forcing Flareon to release its grip. The 2 Pokemon faced each other, both breathing heavily. Jolteon had taken considerable damage, and the battle was evenly matched. Flareon, use Flamethrower. Flames erupted from Flareon's mouth, narrowly missing Jolteon as it darted aside. The stray flames ignited the grass nearby, creating a wall of fire on one side of the battlefield. Now the battlefield was divided, fire on one side, water on the other. As the space shrank, Pyro laughed confidently. Ha ha, you won't be able to use your speed advantage now. Flareon, use Flamethrower again. Flareon unleashed another stream of intense flames. Jolteon instinctively stepped back, but surrounded by flames, it had nowhere to escape. Seeing this, Kai shouted, Jolteon, head to the other side of the pond. Hearing Kai's command, Jolteon leapt into the center of the pond, paddling quickly to the opposite bank. Soaked but safe, it turned back to face Flareon, ready for the next round. Now the two Pokémon were separated by the pond, standing on solid ground, surrounded by rocks. The flames couldn't spread further to them, but Flareon faced a new challenge. Flareon's position was precarious, the ground beneath it was covered in grass, and if it stayed there, the spreading fire could harm it. To attack Jolteon again, Flareon would have to cross the pond. Pyro clicked his tongue in frustration. As a fire type, Flareon wasn't as afraid of water as Charmander, but it still hesitated to enter. Crossing the water would soak its fur, leaving it vulnerable to Jolteon's electric type attacks. Seeing Pyro's hesitation, Kai taunted, What's wrong? Afraid to come over? Pyro's pride flared up. Afraid? As if. After a moment of thought, Pyro made his move. Flareon charged through the flames. Kai raised an eyebrow, impressed by Pyro's determination. Flareon's fire typing reduced damage from fire moves, making this a clever decision. Flareon pushed through the searing fire, emerging singed but standing. However, Jolteon was ready. Jolteon used Discharge, Kai commanded. Bolts of lightning surged from Jolteon, striking Flareon fiercely. Before Flareon could recover, Jolteon closed the gap with incredible speed, its fangs crackling with electricity as it bit into Flareon with Thunder Fang. Flareon, Pyro shouted, concerned. Flareon grimaced in pain, trying to retaliate, but it couldn't reach Jolteon effectively. The tide of battle had turned completely. Flareon, don't give up, Pyro called out. Fight back with everything you've got. Desperate, Flareon unleashed a flame wheel surrounding itself, and Jolteon in flames.
I frowned.
Pyro's reckless move turned the battle into a dangerous standoff. Jolteon was already battered and couldn't afford to take more damage. Jolteon used double kick. Jolteon released Flareon from its bite and swiftly turned, its hind legs glowing as it kicked Flareon with two rapid strikes. The first hit landed on Flareon's head, and the second struck its chest. Flareon staggered, its eyes fluttering before it collapsed unconscious. Flareon is unable to battle, announced the referee. The winner of this match is Jolteon? Applause erupted from the audience, celebrating Kai's impressive victory. Defeating both Vaporeon and Flareon had earned him admiration and respect. Even though the battle was over, Jolteon was visibly exhausted and covered in burns. Concerned, Kai quickly released Blastoise. Blastoise used Water Gun to put out the flames on Jolteon. Blastoise sprayed a steady stream of water, extinguishing the remaining embers on Jolteon. Kai then applied Burn Heal, ensuring it could recover. Meanwhile, other trainers used their Water-type Pokémon to extinguish the fires around the battlefield. Once the flames were dealt with, Pyro, Rainer, and Sparky approached Kai, each carrying a small box. When the boxes opened, they revealed a variety of evolution stones. As a reward for defeating us, said Sparky, you may choose a few of these evolution stones. Kai blinked in surprise. Huh? This was just a regular match, wasn't it? There's a prize? Of course, replied Rainer. It's a tradition here. If you win, you get to take some local specialties with you. Kai nodded, realizing it would be rude to refuse. He glanced at the stones, fire stones, water stones, thunder stones, leaf stones, and more. While valuable, his current team didn't need any for evolution. Only Jolteon had previously used a Thunderstone. Still, he decided to pick something, just in case. After a moment of thought, he selected a Leaf Stone. Sparky raised an eyebrow. The Leaf Stone? That's a rare choice, but since you defeated both of us, you can take another. Don't worry, we have plenty. As Kai pondered his next choice, he noticed a gray stone tucked in the corner of the box. What's this? Rainer glanced at it. Oh, that's an Everstone. It's practically useless. Just a filler item. Kai's eyes lit up. An Everstone, huh? I'll take it. Rainer was puzzled. Why would you want an Everstone? It prevents Pokémon from evolving, you know? Kai smirked. Exactly. If anyone annoys me, I'll just toss the Everstone at their Pokémon. They'll never evolve again. Rainer, Sparky, and Pyro burst into laughter. That's one way to use it. All right, the Everstone is yours. After a restful night in Stone Town, Kai set off again. The road to Saffron City was straightforward, allowing him to arrive smoothly. At the Saffron Gym, he encountered Sabrina's father, a middle-aged man with a beard and a peaked cap, whom he remembered from his last visit. "You're here to see Sabrina?" he asked, eyeing Kai with suspicion. "She wasn't helping me, she was assisting Interpol," Kai replied, feeling uneasy under the man's scrutiny. Sabrina's father remained skeptical, so Kai added, "I've only met her twice. We're not that close. This time, I have a specific request." Oh, the man's demeanor softened slightly. The Interpol sure knows how to involve others in their schemes. Making Sabrina take on something so dangerous is irresponsible. "You're right, sir," Kai replied politely, chuckling inwardly. Sabrina was no ordinary girl. Her immense psychic powers made her formidable. The Saffron Gym looked familiar, but the atmosphere felt lighter this time. Passing by a room, Kai noticed the same group practicing psychic abilities and wondered if they had made progress. After a long walk, Sabrina's father led him to the battlefield where he had fought her before. There sat Sabrina, calmly watching him. "I knew you were coming." Her words echoed their first meeting, but she seemed changed, gentler, with a small smile softening her usual stoic expression. "Sabrina, I came here to..." Before he could finish, Sabrina raised her hand, signaling him to stop. She turned to her father. "What is it?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. Sabrina remained quiet, but the atmosphere grew tense. Her father seemed to understand her unspoken message. "They're telling me to leave?" His disbelief was evident as he glared at Kai. "You said you weren't close to her, and now she's kicking me out? What's going on?" Kai laughed awkwardly, raising his hands defensively. "Ha! Well, it's not like that." Frustrated but cowed by Sabrina's gaze, her father snorted and reluctantly left the hall. As the sound of his footsteps faded, Sabrina moved her fingers slightly, closing the door and cutting off any outside noise. The room grew quiet again. Sabrina smiled at Kai. "There. Now you can continue." With her father gone, Kai felt more at ease. He approached her, glancing around. "I came to see you and pick up that Silph scope you mentioned." "You came to see me specifically?" Sabrina teased, her ears turning red beneath her hair. "Of course," Kai grinned. "I even brought you a gift. You doubt my intentions? That's disheartening." "A gift?" Kai pulled out a bracelet made of polished red gemstones, shimmering under the light. "What's this?" Sabrina asked, intrigued. "It's a souvenir from Cinnabar Island. The stones are carved from agate and said to refresh the mind and improve skin when worn." No woman could resist something that enhanced her beauty, not even Sabrina. She examined the bracelet, surprise flickering in her eyes. "And why are you giving me this?" "I thought it would make a nice gift," Kai said casually. "Consider it a token of my gratitude." "But you already thanked me last time with that perfume," Sabrina pointed out. "Perfume is consumable. This bracelet can be kept forever." Clearly pleased, Sabrina slipped the bracelet onto her wrist, its vibrant stones complementing her pale skin beautifully. Though she didn't say it, she was genuinely happy. "All right, I'll accept it," she said softly. "But I have to tell you, the Silph scope isn't with me anymore." "What?" Kay's eyes widened. "Didn't you promise to keep it for me? What happened?" "It's not as simple as handing it over," Sabrina explained. "The scope requires precise installation and calibration. Mr. Silph suggested you visit Silph Co. headquarters. Their researchers will assist with the final setup." Kai nodded. "That makes sense. With their help, it'll be perfect." Accompanied by Sabrina, Kai arrived at the Silph Co. building. The bustling streets were filled with vehicles, and the building's walls had been fully repaired since the Team Rocket incident. After passing a thorough security check, they were escorted by a secretary to the CEO's office on the top floor. Kai noticed the significant increase in security. Armed personnel and patrolling Pokémon were stationed on nearly every floor. When they knocked on the office door, they were greeted by President Silph himself, looking radiant and full of energy, a stark contrast to their last encounter. Mr. Kai, Miss Sabrina, welcome, he said warmly, rising to greet them. Mr. Silph, you look incredible. Did something good happen recently? Kai asked with a smile. President Silph chuckled, shaking their hands. Having you both here is good enough for me. Kai gestured to the guards outside. The security improvements are impressive. I wasn't expecting such a transformation. It's not my doing. It's the power of money, he laughed. In this world, any problem that can be solved with money is no problem at all.
His tone grew serious.
I saw your battle with the giant Tentacruel online. Your mask is distinctive, but your equipment could use an upgrade. Kai scratched his head, embarrassed. Honestly, my gear is nothing special. The mask? I bought it for 100 $100, and the cloak? Just a random raincoat. President Silph raised an eyebrow, examining the mask. Kai pulled from his bag. This material is unacceptable. Our company is renowned for high-tech innovations. I can't let you use such crude equipment. He turned to his secretary. Go to the equipment department and have them create a new mask and cloak immediately. Also, bring our latest outdoor product line. The secretary nodded and left promptly. Kai hesitated. Isn't that too much? This sounds expensive. Nonsense. President Silph waved off the concern. Compared to what you've done for us, this is trivial. After a while, President Silph was pleased to hear Kai hadn't used the Master Ball yet. That Master Ball is no small thing. Save it for capturing a truly important Pokémon. Don't worry, Kai assured him. I'll use it wisely. Since President Silph had other business, Kai and Sabrina excused themselves, heading to a lounge downstairs, the same room where they had once hidden from Team Rocket. Sitting on the sofa, Kai sighed. The rocket attack here. It's still vivid in my memory. Sabrina glanced at the wardrobe, a faint blush creeping onto her face as she murmured a soft. Turning to Kai, she asked, after you leave here, where will you go next? Viridian City Gym, Kai replied. I heard Agatha took over as the temporary gym leader after Giovanni disappeared. A ghost-type specialist, huh? She won't be easy to defeat, but I need that final badge. Sabrina nodded thoughtfully. And after you earn the 8 badges, you'll challenge the Pokémon League. Of course. Why do you ask? Kai gave her a curious look. Her voice softened. And after the League, what's next? Kai paused, contemplating. I suppose I'll leave Kanto and continue my journey in other regions. I see, Sabrina murmured, her gaze distant. Before Kai could ask what she meant, the secretary entered, carrying a large box filled with items. He unpacked it, revealing a full set of equipment, a jacket, sweatpants, sneakers, a belt, knee and wrist pads, and a sleek backpack. These are our company's latest products, the secretary explained. This jacket, for example, is fireproof, waterproof, and resistant to wear. Even a knife won't cut through it easily. Kai picked up the jacket, marveling at its softness and stylish design. Realizing there was no reason to refuse, he stepped into a nearby changing room to try everything on. When he emerged, the transformation was remarkable. The new gear highlighted his athleticism and youthful energy. Sabrina's gaze lingered, an appreciative glint in her eyes. Just then, a researcher entered with a newly crafted mask. It retained the familiar Gengar shape, but was made of lightweight alloy. With a sleek finish, its eyes were upgraded with Silph's inspection mirror technology, revealing the true form of anything mysterious. Kai examined the mask and smiled. This is incredible. You deserve no less. President Silph's voice echoed from the doorway. Now go out there and make good use of it. Viridian City. From Saffron City, Kai donned his new gear and followed the forested path to Viridian City, nestled among dense woodlands. Though small, Viridian City is a crucial transportation hub and economic center in western Kanto, serving as the final stop for trainers heading to the Indigo Plateau for the Indigo League. However, its closeness to Viridian Forest often leads to wild bug-type Pokémon wandering into town, causing minor inconveniences. The lingering influence of Team Rocket, which Giovanni ruled for years, added to Kai's unease as he walked the crowded streets, wary of possible ambushes. Still, the bustling crowds and vigilant police patrols reassured him, showing that security was tight, likely rivaling that of Celadon City. After weaving through the city, Kai arrived at the Viridian Gym. Its modest size, limited by the surrounding forest, still exuded grandeur. with the Pokemon League emblem adorning its entrance. For a moment, Kai wondered if he had stumbled upon a consulate instead of a gym. The austere design reflected Giovanni's preference for understated aesthetics. Before Agatha, a member of Kanto's Elite Four, took over as interim gym leader, Viridian Gym had a notorious reputation not for Giovanni's skills, but for its exclusivity, often closed to challengers without explanation. Agatha's expertise in ghost-type Pokemon and sharp intellect made it one of the toughest challenges for unprepared trainers. The battle began. Inside the gym, Kai explained his purpose to a staff member and was escorted to meet Agatha. The seasoned Elite Four member eyed him curiously, recognizing his voice only when Kai's Haunter emerged from its Pokeball. "So, it's you," she said, surprised. "The Masked Man player. We fought side by side against Team Rocket. I thought you might be an undercover agent, but you're just a wandering trainer challenging gyms." Kai grinned sheepishly. "Trainer is my main occupation. I was just doing my duty as a good citizen." "An interesting young man," Agatha mused before shifting focus. "I know your strength. There's no need for the standard 3-on-3 format. Let's settle this with a single battle winner takes all." Kai blinked in surprise. "Wait, what? You're one of the Elite Four. If my Pokemon faints, I'll lose outright." "Exactly." Agatha smirked. "This will test your courage and strategy. But don't worry, this is a gym battle, not an Elite Four match. I won't use my strongest Pokemon. With little choice." Kai agreed. The two trainers took their positions on the battlefield. The eerie Western-style arena was adorned with ornate murals and dim lighting, casting long shadows across the floor. Agatha released her Pokemon first. "Come out, Mismagius." The dark, ghostly Pokemon appeared, its glowing red eyes and flowing tendrils creating an intimidating presence. Kai considered his options. Against a pure ghost type like Mismagius, most of his team wouldn't have much advantage except one. He called out, "Let's do this, Ivysaur." The contrast between the grounded grass type and the floating Mismagius was stark. "Ivysaur," Agatha raised an eyebrow. "I thought you'd send out Haunter." Kai smirked. "Why reveal my ace when you're holding back?" "We'll see," Agatha replied, her eyes gleaming. "I hope you won't regret this decision." At the referee's signal, the battle began. Ivysaur, Razor Leaf, Mismagius. Shadow Ball. Ivysaur's vines shook as razor-sharp leaves flew toward Mismagius, colliding with its Shadow Ball in a powerful explosion. Neither Pokemon faltered. Agatha's expression sharpened. Mismagius, use Confuse Ray. Kai anticipated this. Ivysaur, counter with Leech Seed. As Mismagius unleashed its dazzling Confuse Ray, Ivysaur launched a Seed. Both attacks hit their marks. Ivysaur wobbled in confusion while Leech Seed latched onto Mismagius, draining its energy. Kai clenched his fists. "Shake it off, Ivysaur. Use Vine Whip." Despite its confusion, Ivysaur lashed out with two sturdy vines, striking Mismagius. "Break free with Shadow Ball!" Agatha commanded. Mismagius retaliated, shattering the vines with an explosive Shadow Ball. Hovering higher, it was battered, but still in the fight. The Leech Seed continued to drain Mismagius' health, giving Ivysaur a fighting chance. Tension filled the room as both trainers pushed their Pokemon to their limits. The Viridian Gym grew darker, amplifying the battle's intensity. Phew! Ivysaur's second Razor Leaf attack struck Mismagius, causing it to wince in pain. Agatha shouted, "Mismagius, use Perish Song." Hearing this, Kai tensed up. Perish Song places a countdown on both Pokemon. When it ends, they faint. Ivysaur, stop it quickly. Kai called urgently. Ivysaur lashed out with Vine Whip, but it was too late. Mismagius opened its mouth, releasing haunting musical notes that echoed ominously across the battlefield. Glowing marks appeared on both Pokemon, signaling the countdown. Kai felt the weight of the move, his heartbeat quickening. "Don't be so nervous," Agatha said slyly. "This only affects Pokemon, not humans." "I know," Kai replied, though his voice betrayed concern for Ivysaur. He knew he could recall Ivysaur to nullify Perish Song, but that meant forfeiting the match. The only option was to defeat Mismagius before the countdown triggered. "Ivysaur, give it everything you've got. Use Seed Bomb." Ivysaur's bud glowed as it launched a barrage of hard seeds toward Mismagius. It floated up to evade, but two Vine Whips snagged it midair. The Seed Bomb struck, creating explosions and scattering green sparks. Mismagius was weakened, but still fighting. "Not good." Kai frowned, noticing the countdown nearing its end. "Quick, Ivysaur, finish it." In that moment, Ivysaur began to glow white. Is it evolving? Kai exclaimed. In a flash of light, Ivysaur transformed, blooming into a magnificent Venusaur. Wasting no time, Venusaur unleashed a Razor Leaf attack. The enhanced power proved overwhelming, striking Mismagius and knocking it out. Thud! As Mismagius fell, Kai returned Venusaur to its Pokeball just before the countdown reached 0, severing the connection. The referee glanced at Agatha, who nodded in approval. Mismagius is unable to battle. The challenger wins. Kai sighed in relief, releasing Venusaur again. The countdown effects were nullified, and looking at his newly evolved Pokemon, he couldn't help but smile. Venusaur, you were amazing. Evolving at such a crucial moment, you've exceeded all my expectations. Venusaur nuzzled Kai's hand, letting out a happy roar. Soar. However, its playful nudge knocked Kai to the ground. Agatha approached with a small smile, holding out a badge shaped like an asparagus sprout. Congratulations on earning the Ghost Badge, she said. Even though I lost, it wasn't easy for you. Kai accepted the badge, a wry smile on his face. What choice did I have? I couldn't have won if you used your ace Pokemon. Agatha chuckled. Life is full of unexpected challenges. You did well. If you participate in the Pokemon League, you might have a shot at becoming champion. And if you want a rematch, feel free to challenge me again. Taking on the Elite Four sounds tempting, Kai mused. But first, I need to focus on making my Pokemon stronger. Agatha nodded approvingly. A sensible approach. I admire your maturity. It's rare to see someone so young, with such level-headedness. After leaving Viridian City, Kai planned to return to Vermilion City for rest before heading to the Pokemon League. On his way through Cerulean City, he unexpectedly ran into Ash, Misty, and Brock. The group was surprised to see Kai. After exchanging greetings, Kai turned to Ash. Why are you back here? Did you get the volcano badge from Blaine? Of course, Ash grinned, proudly showing his 7th badge. Charizard was incredible. After a tough fight, we finally defeated Blaine's Magmar. Misty rolled her eyes. You've only got 7 badges. What's there to brag about? She then turned to Kai, her tone softening. I'm guessing you've already earned your 8th badge, right, Kai? Kai opened his badge case, displaying the gleaming ghost badge. That's right. I just finished my battle at the Viridian Gym. Now, I'm preparing for the Pokemon League. But what about you? Aren't you supposed to be challenging a gym? Why are you back in Cerulean City? Misty said, while I was at Cinnabar Island, my sisters called me back to the Cerulean Gym. My Horsa has been looking listless, so I thought bringing it home to a bigger pool might help. As she spoke, her gaze subtly scanned Kai, who looked striking in his new outfit, making her heart race. Compared to Ash and Brock, Kai stood out like a Pidgeot among Pidgeys. The group chatted casually, and Misty invited Kai to join them in visiting Cerulean City since he wasn't in a hurry. Talking and laughing, they soon arrived at the Cerulean Gym. Misty felt nostalgic. I missed this place so much. It's been ages since I've been back. Just before entering, Kai spotted a billboard featuring a poster of various water-type Pokemon and a beautiful mermaid in a seashell swimsuit. Curious, he asked, luxurious and gorgeous water ballet performance, is this a new event? The others gathered around, and Brock, captivated by the mermaid, muttered, wow, she's stunning. Kai read the smaller text aloud. This performance is presented by the renowned water ballet artist, returning to Cerulean City. Wait, Misty, could this be you? Everyone turned to the poster, noticing the resemblance. No way, Misty exclaimed, waving her hands. I don't know anything about water ballet. This must be a guest performer. My sister's invited. They entered the gym's main hall, which was quiet and deserted. I'm home, Misty called out happily. Her voice echoed, and soon her 3 sisters, Daisy, Lily, and Violet, appeared. You're finally back, Violet said, grabbing Misty's hands. Why did you take so long? You almost missed everything. Before Misty could respond, Lily added, were you off sightseeing again? Honestly, you cut it so close. All right, calm down, Daisy interjected. She's back now, and that's what matters. Let's focus on the important stuff. Misty, bewildered by their rapid-fire chatter, asked, what are you all talking about? What did I almost miss? Oh, by the way, I brought some guests with me. Her sisters noticed Kai, Ash, and Brock. Oh, it's you guys, Daisy greeted warmly. How have you been? Misty didn't cause too much trouble for you, did she? After briefly greeting Ash and Brock, the sisters turned their attention to Kai. Ah, I remember you, Violet said dramatically. You're the one who really gave us a hard time back then. That's right, Lily chimed in. Are you traveling with Misty now? Could it be that you're sweet on our little sister? Kai shook his head, flustered. No, we just ran into each other by chance today, but Misty and I are good friends. Misty felt a spark of joy, but was annoyed to see her sisters crowding around Kai. She pushed them aside. Okay, that's enough. You called me back in such a rush. What's going on? Suddenly remembering, Daisy exclaimed, Oh right, Misty, there's no time to waste. You have to start practicing. Practicing? Misty asked, puzzled. Lily pointed to the poster. For the water ballet, of course. What? Misty shouted in shock. You expect me to perform? Of course, Violet said matter-of-factly. We decided that the lead role of the mermaid princess would be perfect for you. What? You didn't even ask me! I'm supposed to be training to become a water-type Pokemon master, not doing ballet. No way! Misty's firm refusal made Lily want to argue, but Daisy quickly intervened. All right, Misty, calm down. Let's not argue in front of our guests. Why don't you show them to the lounge to rest first? Following Daisy, the group entered the gym's lounge and sat around a long table. Daisy served tea as they explained the situation. The Cerulean Gym had recently become popular, not just for battles, but for extravagant water ballet performances. They thought having Misty as the lead would draw audiences. But I don't even know how to perform water ballet. Misty protested. That's what practice is for, Lily shrugged. Don't worry, you'll pick it up quickly. The conversation continued with Misty trying to escape while her sisters insisted she was perfect for the role. Meanwhile, Ash, Brock, and Kai found the lively exchange amusing. Daisy lamented, maybe it's because our recent performances have been repetitive, and fewer people are attending our shows. The auditorium has been almost empty. The atmosphere grew heavy, and even Misty hadn't anticipated such a drastic change for her family. Kai thoughtfully stroked his chin. The reason things have turned out this way is likely because the focus of your performances has shifted, he said calmly. Everyone looked at him in surprise. Huh? What do you mean? Daisy asked. Kai explained, the last time I came to the Cerulean Gym, I watched your water ballet. While it was visually stunning, the performance itself was too simplistic. The only thing I remembered was, well, your long legs on the water. Misty shot him a sharp glare while Daisy, Violet, and Lily froze in disbelief. The sisters had always been confident in their performances, but hearing that someone mainly noticed their appearance stung. Lily hesitated before asking, so what do you mean by shifting focus? Understanding your audience, Kai clarified, most of your viewers are adult men, primarily interested in admiring your beauty. While it's appealing at first, the novelty wears off, and they lose interest. His words struck a chord. Even if they didn't want to hear it, they realized Kai was spot on. Lily's eyes lit up. See? I've been saying this all along. Daisy turned to Misty. That's why we decided to have you take on the role of the mermaid princess. We believe this will help save the Cerulean Gym. What? No way. Misty quickly refused. I can't do something like that. But, Daisy frowned. We've already posted the announcement. Everyone knows there's going to be a brand new performance tomorrow, and the tickets are already sold out. Tomorrow? Misty slammed her hands on the table. You expect me to perform tomorrow without even asking for my consent? Are you kidding me? Lily pressed her hands on Misty's shoulders, tossing a small script onto the table. Relax. This is the script we wrote for you. Just follow the lines. It's super easy, even for someone without acting experience like you. Misty shook her head vehemently. Seeing her resistance, Daisy pleaded, Please, Misty, you're our sister. Do us this one favor. Misty hesitated. Growing up, Daisy had always been the gentlest of her sisters, and Misty admired her most. It was hard to refuse. Even Ash and Brock chimed in. Come on, Misty, just give it a try, Ash encouraged. Brock added, the tickets are already sold, and canceling the show isn't realistic. With everyone pressuring her, Misty's resolve began to waver. Violet and Lily exchanged grateful smiles with Ash and Brock. You're such good friends. Misty is lucky to have you. Eventually, Misty sighed in resignation. She glanced at Kai, who gave her a slight nod of encouragement. Fine, I'll do it. Hearing her agreement, Lily pumped her fist triumphantly. I told you it'd be fine. Misty can never refuse Daisy's requests. Violet urged Misty, all right, let's go over the script quickly. If there's no problem, we can start rehearsing right away. Misty rolled her eyes. While she agreed, she was still reluctant. Skimming through the script, she found a cliché story about a prince defeating villains to save a princess. Can this kind of plot really save the Cerulean Gym's reputation? She muttered under her breath. Suddenly, she remembered something and turned to Kai. Hey Kai, didn't you once tell me about a story you wrote that became popular? Why don't you help us revise this script? Misty was referring to Kai's adaptation of the Maiden's Peak legend into a manga, which had become a bestseller. She had overheard him mention it while at Cinnabar Island's hot springs. Kai shook his head. I don't think I can. While the Maiden's Peak manga did well, that was mostly thanks to the artist and publisher. Writing a story is one thing, but adapting a script is another. Wait, you wrote the story for the Maiden's Peak manga? Violet's eyes sparkled with excitement. We read that manga just a few days ago. The story was so moving, we thought it was written by a famous female author. I can't believe it was you. Daisy clasped her hands together. If that's the case, please help us revise the script. Kai hesitated. Writing and scripting are different skills. I've never worked on a script before. I might just make things worse. Don't worry about that, Daisy said earnestly. The manga was amazing, so your storytelling skills are solid. Anything you come up with will be better than what we've got now. Please, give it a try. With Misty already agreeing and the sisters pleading so sincerely, Kai couldn't refuse. He sighed and nodded. All right, I'll give it a shot. But don't get your hopes up too high. I can't guarantee anything extraordinary. Knowing it would be a long task, Kai released all his Pokémon except for his 2 legendaries to play in the Cerulean Gym's swimming pool. Daisy, Violet, and Lily quickly surrounded his Dratini, wide-eyed. This is a Dratini, Violet exclaimed, gently stroking its head. It's rarer than Dragonite. Where did you catch it? Brock added, we've only seen a pair of Dragonair and a Dratini in the Safari Zone near Fuchsia City. You were really lucky. Though more confident lately, Dratini shyly hid behind Charmeleon. Overwhelmed by the attention, Kai instructed Gardevoir to watch over the Pokémon and returned to the script on the table. This script was written by Daisy, Lily said. What do you think? Kai nodded thoughtfully. It's a bit simplistic, lacking twists, but that's understandable given the limited cast. Misty, watching from the side, asked, Kai, what did you do before becoming a trainer? I was a university student, but dropped out due to unforeseen circumstances. I moved to Kalos and worked various jobs until I decided to become a trainer. Unforeseen circumstances. Everyone exchanged glances, curious but hesitant to pry further. Ash asked, what kind of job? Kai chuckled. I worked at a film studio, coordinating on-set activities. It was fun. A famous celebrity even wanted me to debut as an actor. Misty's eyes lit up. A famous celebrity? Who? Kai smirked. Do you know Diantha? Diantha! Daisy, Violet, Lily, Misty, and Brock jumped up in shock, while Ash looked confused. Who's Diantha? Ash asked. Daisy explained, she's the champion of the Kalos region and a famous actress. Her movies are classics. That's right, Violet gushed. She's my idol, Lily guessed. Wait, are you saying Diantha wanted you to be an actor? Kai nodded. We met by chance and she encouraged me to become a Pokemon trainer. Wow. The sisters were starstruck. If you get a chance, please help us get her autograph. Sure, Kai grinned. When we visit Kalos, I can introduce you. She's very approachable. After chatting about Diantha, they returned to the script. Kai commented, the theme is a bit youthful. It could use more elements. But Daisy hesitated. We don't have enough people to add too much. Violet pointed at Kai, Ash, and Brock. Why not have them help? Us? Ash and Brock asked in unison. Lily giggled. Come on. It's only fair. Reluctantly, Kai agreed when Ash and Brock eagerly joined in. Daisy smiled. Your appearance is perfect for the prince. What elements were you thinking of adding? Kai suggested brainstorming together. Everyone began sharing ideas. Ash said enthusiastically, we should include some Pokemon battles. Brock added, we can't cut down on the water ballet scenes. Daisy and her sisters need more stage time. Misty blushed and suggested shyly, maybe a romantic scene, like a hug or a kiss. Violet teased her, sure, since Misty is asking for it, we'll include it. After brainstorming, they finalized the cast, Kai as the prince, Misty as the mermaid princess, Brock as a loyal sailor, Ash as the princess's maid for comic relief, Lily as the villainous pirate captain, Violet as the wicked sea witch, and Daisy as the narrator and businesswoman. With roles assigned, they officially began rehearsals, renaming the play the Cerulean Gem's annual undersea chaos drama. After distributing the script, rehearsal became intense. Misty, your swimming style needs to be more graceful. Imagine yourself as a true mermaid. Kai, show more emotion. Sound like a prince. Daisy's voice echoed through the gymnasium via the loudspeaker, ensuring the performance's quality. The show evolved into a stage play about a serene underwater kingdom where a prince falls into the sea and falls in love with a mermaid princess, facing challenges from a jealous sea witch and a ruthless pirate. With the help of clever Pokémon, they defeat the Gyarados unleashed by the witch, saving their homes and bringing peace. The performance ends with the prince and mermaid princess embracing as the curtains fall. After dinner, they continued rehearsing until midnight, finally performing flawlessly without a single mistake. I'm exhausted. Kai wiped the sweat from his forehead, and even Ash and Brock looked drained. Great work, everyone, Daisy announced. Rest well tonight for tomorrow's performance. She led Kai, Ash, and Brock to their rooms. Have a good night's rest. Kai sighed in relief, glad to avoid Ash's teeth grinding and Brock's snoring. After washing up, he was about to sleep when he heard a soft knock at the door. Misty stood there. I couldn't sleep. Could I come in and sit for a while? Of course, Kai said, letting her in. They chatted, and Kai realized Misty was restless about returning home and excited for the performance. After some comforting words, Misty's nerves eased. Thanks, Kai. I feel much better now, she said, smiling as she left. Reflecting on her initial reluctance, Misty found herself looking forward to the performance, hopeful for a smooth show the next day. The next morning, everyone felt refreshed. Although the performance was at 11:20, audiences began gathering as early as 10 Valor. Wow, I haven't seen such a big crowd in a long time. Daisy beamed at the long line of parents and children. As nerves crept in, Daisy reassured them. Relax. Pretend the audience isn't there. Put your heart into the performance. Once everyone changed into costumes, they presented their final looks. Kai's princely outfit suited him perfectly, while Misty looked elegant in her mermaid costume. The supporting cast, including Brock, Violet, and Lily, looked stunning too. Finally, Ash emerged in a long wig and heavy makeup for his female role, looking awkward but fitting. Pikachu laughed, rolling on the ground. Pika Pika. Hey, stop laughing, Ash grumbled, though. Dressing as a girl didn't bother him as much anymore. Meanwhile, 3 pairs of malicious eyes watched from above through a gap in the ceiling. Did you hear that? Jessie whispered. Of course, James replied. A ballet performance. I'd love to see it. You fool! Meowth snapped. This isn't about enjoying the show. With so many water-type Pokémon gathered, it's the perfect chance to snatch them all. But how? James asked nervously. There are too many people. Since it's a performance, we can join in openly. Once we're on stage, we'll grab the Pokémon right in front of them. They won't dare stop us. Brilliant, James nodded. What a clever plan. Jessie's eyes sparkled. Does this mean we get to perform too? I've always dreamed of being on stage. The performance time was approaching. Daisy grabbed the narration script and headed to the broadcasting room, knowing it was crucial for connecting past events and advancing the plot. After placing the script in front of the microphone, she stepped out to handle other tasks. Moments later, Team Rocket stealthily descended from the ventilation duct. Jessie picked up the script, smirking as she read through it. Ugh, who would enjoy such a cliched story? Let me spice this up, she said, grabbing a pen and scribbling her own edits. Just then, footsteps startled her, and she quickly retreated back into the duct. Daisy returned, unaware of the tampering, and retrieved earphones from a side locker. In the lounge, she distributed waterproof earpieces to the group. These will help me prompt you if you forget your lines, she explained. Kai accepted one, fitting it snugly in his ear. Is everyone ready? Daisy asked. Most nodded, but the trio of sisters looked tense. Don't be so nervous, Daisy encouraged. Let's do our best. As the minutes passed, the auditorium filled with excited chatter. Finally, Daisy's voice echoed through the speakers. Thank you for waiting. The Cerulean Beauties, Water Ballet, the Mermaid Princess, and the Prince is about to begin. The lights dimmed and the stage transformed into an aquarium-like setting, gasps of amazement rippling through the audience. Daisy narrated, in the peaceful ocean, the Mermaid Princess and her Pokémon lived joyously. Misty leaped gracefully into the water, swimming elegantly before playing with her Pokémon. Next, during a staged fight with pirates, Kai fell into the water and was rescued by Misty, forming a budding connection. Their performance was impressive, and Daisy praised them through the earpieces. Great work. You don't look like rookies at all. Brock, get ready. You're next. So story built toward its climax. The Sea Witch unleashed a Gyarados, escalating the tension. Daisy read from the script, but noticed the altered line. Someone tampered with this, she thought, but couldn't stop mid-narration. Gritting her teeth, she pushed through. An even darker enemy descended from the skies, capturing all the Pokémon in the arena. Shock spread among Kai and the others. Before they could react, laughter erupted, and a mechanical octopus crashed into the water, soaking the front rows. Jesse's voice boomed. The villains always steal the spotlight. We're here to ruin your little fairy tale. Team Rocket, Brock shouted. Misty demanded, why are you here? Jesse sneered, the villains can't be left out. Meowth, let's capture all these Pokémon. The robot's tentacles began sucking up water, pulling smaller Pokémon like Goldeen and Horsa into the machine. Horsea, Misty screamed, swimming toward the suction, but she too was dragged in.
Kai's heart sank. He signaled Gyarados urgently. The show was over. Stopping Team Rocket was the new priority.
Jaharar! Gyarados lunged at the octopus robot, engaging in an intense underwater battle. The audience was thrilled. Wow, this fight looks so real, one spectator exclaimed. Despite its ferocity, the robot struggled against Gyarados. In the control room, Meowth wrestled with the levers. This Gyarados is too strong, we can't hold out. Then retreat, James said, satisfied with their haul. Jesse protested. I wanted to dazzle the audience. You fool, Meowth snapped. Leaving now is the smartest option. Under Meowth's command, the octopus robot leaped out of the water and escaped through the damaged ceiling. The audience, unaware of the heist, assumed it was part of the show. Wait! Brock shouted. They're getting away! Misty's sisters looked alarmed. They've taken Misty too. What do we do? Daisy asked, trembling. Kai clenched his fists, ready to abandon the performance. But Ash's steady voice came through the earpiece. Don't worry about Misty and the Pokémon. Leave them to me. Without waiting for a response, Ash dashed out of the gym. Brock's calm voice followed. Ash can't handle this alone. I'll help him. You focus on finishing the performance. Daisy sighed and nodded. Splitting into two teams seemed best. As Brock and Ash left, Lily worried, will they be okay? We have to trust them, Daisy replied, though her voice wavered. For now, we need to keep the performance going. Turning to the others, Daisy made a quick decision. Lily, you'll take Misty's place as the lead. We'll adapt the story on the fly. Me! Lily stammered, but I'm supposed to be the Sea Witch. We don't have a choice! Daisy frowned, brainstorming adjustments. Just go with it. Back in the broadcasting room, Daisy steadied herself and announced, the sudden arrival of villains led to the capture of the mermaid princess. With no options left, the maiden sailor set off to rescue her. Meanwhile, the prince sought the Sea Witch's help to defeat the pirates. The audience gasped at the unexpected twist, their excitement growing. On stage, Kai and the others followed Daisy's improvised directions, performing seamlessly despite the chaos. Finally, with Gyarados and the witch's help, the prince defeated the pirates and restored peace. Excellent work, Daisy encouraged through the earpiece. The story's almost over. Don't lose focus. Just then, Brock's voice came through. Daisy, Misty, and the Pokémon are safe. We'll be back in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Daisy glanced at the clock. That's too long. We'll finish without them. Taking control, Daisy declared, and so the prince and the Sea Witch, having triumphed over the pirates, found happiness together. As the final scene unfolded, the audience watched as the fighting subsided and peace returned. Originally, the story was meant to end with the prince and mermaid princess embracing, but when Misty arrived backstage, out of breath, she froze at the sight of Kai and Lily sharing an embrace on stage. Kiss, kiss, the audience cheered, urging them on. Kai hesitated, glancing at Lily, who blushed and nodded. With no other choice, Kai leaned in. Just as their lips almost touched, the curtain fell, hiding them from view. Backstage, Misty watched in disbelief, tears welling in her eyes. That was supposed to be my moment. Meanwhile, the audience erupted in applause, thrilled by the unexpected ending. I've never seen such an incredible performance. Despite the chaos, the show was a resounding success, though not without its share of heartbreak. In the lounge of the Cerulean gym, after the audience had left, Kai and the others collapsed into chairs, exhausted. "Great job, everyone," Daisy said, handing out water bottles with a smile. "Did you see the audience? They loved it. Especially that final scene with your kiss, Kai and Lily." "Please, stop talking about it, Daisy." Misty felt tears welling up. She wanted to scream. "The guy I just kissed my sister. What do I do?" Noticing Misty's distress, Daisy gently patted her head. "I'm sorry for not stepping in earlier. How are you holding up?" Glancing at Kai, Misty forced a smile. "I'm fine, really." Meanwhile, Lily grinned at Kai. "You really took advantage of me back there. So, how was it? Are my lips soft?" Misty felt a pang in her heart. "Please stop talking." Kai replied casually, "If you call that taking advantage, then I guess we're even. It was just acting." Lily teased, "But judging by your confidence, this wasn't your first kiss, was it?" Misty nearly choked on her water, feeling another stab of pain. After parting ways with Ash and the others, Kai returned to Viridian City, ready for the Pokémon League conference. With over 2 weeks until registration, he stayed focused on preparation. At Professor Cerise's lab, everyone was excited to see him, especially Chloe, who rushed over after school. "Wow, is this Gardevoir's final form? It's beautiful." She admired Kai's badge case filled with 8 shiny badges. "Do you like them?" he asked. "Maybe you'll challenge gyms someday." Chloe shook her head. "Battles are exciting, but not for me. My dad and I are planning to watch your matches at the Indigo League." For the next few days, Kai settled into a routine, reviewing strategies and training his Pokémon. Since Zapdos and Articuno weren't allowed in competitions, he focused on Gardevoir, Venusaur, Gyarados, and Jolteon, honing their abilities with Chloe's help. Charmeleon trained in the forests and beaches, while Dratini stayed as a companion, often playing with Chloe's Yamper. A few days later, a Dragonite landed in Vermilion City's park, delivering an envelope to Kai. "For me?" he asked, puzzled. The Dragonite nodded, and Kai accepted the envelope, finding a small device inside. It activated, projecting a woman in a large hat and cloak. "Forgive my intrusion. My master invites you to a gathering for the world's strongest trainers at New Island's Pokémon Castle. Will you attend?" Kai recognized this scenario from the Pokémon Mewtwo Strikes Back movie. He marked yes on the postcard and handed it back. Watching the Dragonite fly away, he felt uneasy. That night, the device updated, informing him to arrive at Vermilion City Port the morning after next for more details about New Island. Lying in bed, Kai recalled the movie's plot, realizing it involved cloning and intense battles. He felt uncertain about Mewtwo's intentions and took out the Master Ball from his backpack, tossing it in his hands. While he loved capturing powerful Pokémon in the games, he was cautious in this real world. He had no intention of recklessly capturing anyone unless necessary. Still, if danger awaited him on New Island, the Master Ball would be his last resort. At dawn, Kai left the Cerise Research Institute and arrived at Vermilion City Port, buzzing with trainers who had received Mewtwo's invitation. Suddenly, the skies darkened and a torrential storm hit the port, soaking everyone as they scrambled for cover. "What a downpour!" someone exclaimed. Kai stayed dry thanks to Haunter's barrier. He spotted Ash, Misty, and Brock rushing in, completely soaked. "Over here," Kai waved them over, handing out tissues. "Thanks," Ash said, wiping his face. "I told you Kai would be here." "Of course," Misty rolled her eyes. "If Ash got invited, there's no way he wouldn't." "All right, enough bickering," Kai said. She got all 8 badges now?" Ash grinned. "Yep, I finally got the rainbow badge after 2 tries against Erica." Kai nodded. "Well, she's one of the best gym leaders, so that's impressive." "And really nice, too," Misty added. "She even gave Ash advice for the league because we mentioned you." "Advice? That's surprising," Kai chuckled. Just then, a commotion erupted as trainers gathered around Officer Jenny and a port official. "What's going on?" Misty asked, craning her neck. They overheard snippets. "The ferry's been canceled." Officer Jenny raised her hands. "Please stay calm. The port manager will explain." The port manager stepped forward, grim. "Due to the storm, all ferries are grounded. No ships will depart until it passes." The crowd erupted in frustration. "But we have to get to New Island." Kai glanced at the raging storm. This wasn't natural. It was Mewtwo's doing. Ash clenched his fists. "We can't let this stop us. There has to be another way." Kai nodded. determination in his eyes. If there's no ferry, we'll find an alternative. Mewtwo invited us for a reason, and I won't miss this gathering. My name is Portia, and I'm the administrator of Vermilion Port. The blue-haired woman stepped forward, her impatience showing as she addressed the crowd.
If you want to understand the sea, listen to the waves, she said, crossing her arms. I've never seen a storm this intense.
Is it really that bad? Someone asked skeptically.
Portia nodded coldly. The storm's center is directly over New Island, the location of your gathering. I refuse to open the port or allow any ships to sail.
Her resolute tone silenced the crowd. Then a slightly overweight trainer stepped forward. That's fine. My Pokémon are excellent swimmers. If the boats won't go, I'll cross the sea myself. His confidence drew murmurs of agreement, but many trainers looked uncertain. No one should risk crossing the sea recklessly, Officer Jenny interjected. This isn't just about the storm, it's also about your Pokémon's safety. If they get hurt, the Pokémon Center won't be able to help. Why not? Another trainer demanded. Jenny sighed, gesturing to a missing person notice. The local nurse Joy has been missing for over a week. Without her, the Pokémon Center can't operate at full capacity. Unease rippled through the crowd, and several trainers reconsidered their plans. Maybe we should wait for the storm to pass, someone murmured. While most hesitated, Kai and Ash remained determined. Kai checked his phone for New Island's coordinates, knowing it was a remote island transformed into Mewtwo's domain. The journey would be perilous, especially without ships. Suddenly, several trainers, including the overweight one, decided to brave the storm, summoning flying Pokémon like Pidgeot and Dugong to cross the turbulent sea. Officer Jenny shouted warnings, but it was too late. Many had already left. Inside the hall, Kai, Ash, Misty, and Brock exchanged determined glances before rushing out into the storm. Outside, the scene was apocalyptic. The sky was pitch black and torrential rain made visibility nearly impossible. What should we do? Brock asked, squinting against the rain. None of us have Pokemon strong enough for these waters. My Charizard can fly, Ash said hesitantly, but it won't carry us in this weather. Just then, a small wooden boat approached, manned by a man and woman dressed as Vikings. You look like you're in trouble, the female crew member said slyly. We're offering free rides for special cases. Interested? Really? Thanks, Ash exclaimed, hopping onto the boat. Misty and Brock followed, unsuspecting. Kai immediately recognized them as Team Rocket but chose not to expose them, wanting to save his Gyarados' strength for later. As Jesse and James rowed, the boat lurched in the violent waves. Just when it seemed they might reach New Island, a massive wave surged toward them. Hold on, Kai shouted as the wave engulfed them. When the water receded, they found themselves drenched, but still aboard. The wave had washed away. Team Rocket's disguises. It's you, Brock exclaimed, glaring. Why are you always following us? Jesse and James struck their usual poses, since you asked sincerely. Before they could finish, another colossal wave crashed into the boat, shattering it completely. Kai felt himself sinking until Misty grabbed his arm. Summoning her Starmie, she brought them both to the surface, while Ash and Brock resurfaced with Squirtle's help. Everyone climb on, Kai called, releasing Gyarados. Whatever happens, don't let go. As they scrambled onto its back, Gyarados surged through the massive waves toward New Island, determined and powerful. Kai held tightly to its neck. With Misty behind him, her arms wrapped securely around his waist, Ash and Brock clung desperately to Gyarados' scales, fighting to stay aboard. After battling the waves, they finally crested one last swell, and suddenly the storm vanished, leaving an eerily calm sea. Did the storm just stop? Brock asked, confused. No, Kai replied, scanning their surroundings. We're in the eye of the storm. The storm still raged behind them, but here the rain had ceased, and the water was still. So it's like Dragonite Island, Kai murmured, recalling a similar place he had visited. As they stretched and eased their aching muscles, Misty pointed excitedly ahead. Look! Over there! In the distance, illuminated by the moon, stood a lonely island with a towering castle at its center. Finally, Brock sighed. That has to be New Island. Kai checked the coordinates on his phone and nodded. It's the right place. He patted Gyarados, signaling it to move toward the island. As they approached, they noticed a cave at the base of the castle, where a woman awaited with a lantern. Her posture was stiff, and her face was emotionless. Welcome. Please show me your invitation, she said monotonously.
Ash quickly retrieved the electronic invitation. Is this what you're asking for? The woman examined it and nodded. Yes. And you? She asked, turning to Kai. Kai showed his device, which she also approved. You are the trainers we invited. Follow me. Brock's eyes lit up. Wait, aren't you Nurse Joy from Vermilion City? The woman's expression didn't change. I have worked here my entire life. I am not the person you are referring to. Only Brock noticed the subtle similarities between her and Nurse Joy. Kai knew the truth. She had been abducted by Mewtwo and hypnotized to forget her past. Calm, the woman said, her voice as emotionless as before. Other trainers have already arrived. They followed her through the narrow cave, into the castle. The eerie atmosphere made Kai uneasy, but he snapped a few pictures, and the woman didn't stop him. After climbing several flights of stairs, they arrived at an ornately carved door. The castle's strange architecture seemed almost alien. The door opened to reveal a spacious hall with a spiral staircase and a long table. 3 trainers were seated there, resting with their Pokémon. These are the other trainers who arrived before you, the woman explained. Strange, Misty murmured. There were so many people at the port. Why are there only 3 here? Those who cannot survive the storm are not worthy of arriving, the woman replied coldly. Realizing the storm was a deliberate test, Ash and the others exchanged uneasy glances. Now, the woman continued, release your Pokémon and take a seat. Ash and his friends released their Pokémon as instructed. Kai, however, released only Gardevoir and Haunter to keep watch. As they approached the table, one trainer in red gave them a lazy glance. Great, more people, just when I thought it was only going to be us. Don't be like that, said the lone girl among them, smiling warmly. I'm Luna, but you can call me Tina. The last trainer, the chubby man from the port, introduced himself as Hero. I'm Ash, and these are my friends, Brock and Misty. Kai introduced himself simply before discreetly examining the trainers' Pokémon, Venusaur, Blastoise, Gyarados, Ninetales, and Golduck. Each looked powerful. Before anyone could say more, the hall's lights dimmed, plunging them into darkness. What's happening? Misty asked nervously, clutching Starmie's Pokeball. The woman's voice broke the silence. The strongest Pokémon trainer is about to appear. As she spoke, the Pokémon in the room grew restless. A spotlight illuminated the spiral staircase, revealing a figure descending gracefully. When it landed, everyone stared in shock. It wasn't a human. It was a Pokémon. This is a Pokémon! Ash stammered, disbelief in his voice. Yes, the woman confirmed. This is the strongest Pokémon trainer, Mewtwo. The trainers and their Pokémon froze, gazing at the psychic being before them. Only Kai remained composed, knowing this moment was inevitable. You expect us to believe this thing is a trainer? Fergus scoffed, slamming his hand on the table. A Pokémon giving commands to other Pokémon? That's ridiculous. But Mewtwo's cold, piercing gaze silenced him, exuding an aura of authority that demanded respect. Although Mewtwo remained silent, a voice echoed in everyone's minds. My rules are mine to make. You humans have no right to dictate them. Brock frowned. This voice, its telepathy. Mewtwo raised an arm, unleashing its psychic powers, surrounding Fergus with energy and lifting him into the air. Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, human, Mewtwo said coldly. With a casual wave, it flung Fergus into the nearby pool like discarded trash. The display of power left everyone stunned. Kai whispered to Gardevoir, stay alert, I don't know Mewtwo's true intentions. Ash and the others scanned Mewtwo with their Pokedexes, but no data appeared. Is this really a Pokémon? Ash wondered. You dare to attack me! Fergus shouted, climbing out of the pool. Gyarados, use Hyper Beam. His Gyarados roared and unleashed a beam at Mewtwo, but Mewtwo effortlessly deflected it back, striking Gyarados instead. What? Fergus exclaimed, rushing to check on his Pokémon. The overwhelming power left everyone frozen in fear. You're of no use to me, Mewtwo declared, and with another wave, Nurse Joy collapsed. Proc caught her before she fell. Are you okay? Joy looked around, confused. Where am I? How did I get here? You are here to serve me, Mewtwo replied coldly. Your expertise in Pokémon physiology made you essential for my experiments. I helped you. Joy winced, rubbing her temples. But I don't remember anything. Of course not, Mewtwo said indifferently. I can manipulate human memory. I wanted to coexist with humans, but I was disappointed. Humans are inferior beings. Corey scoffed. So your solution is to let Pokémon rule the world? Mewtwo shook its head. Not even Pokémon are fit to rule. They've been conditioned to serve humans for too long. Pikachu jumped forward, sparks flying. You claim you stay with your trainer out of choice? Mewtwo sneered. How pitiful. With a blue aura in its eyes, Mewtwo hurled Pikachu backwards. Ash caught his partner before he landed hard. Weak Pokémon rely on humans. They are no different from you. Mewtwo's disdain was clear, and everyone realized they had been lured here under false pretenses. This wasn't a tournament, it was a ploy by Mewtwo. Stop spouting nonsense. Corey snapped. A Pokémon is still a Pokémon, no matter how powerful you are. I can tame you. Go Raiden. Corey's Raiden charged, but Mewtwo immobilized it with Psychic, smashing it back against the table. Give up, Mewtwo declared calmly. I have been the most powerful Pokémon on this planet since my creation. Instead of discouraging, Ash Mewtwo's words fired him up. How can you know that for sure unless we try? Ash countered. Mewtwo regarded him coolly. Are you challenging me? Ash nodded firmly. That's right. With a flash of psychic energy, a platform rose to reveal 3 Pokémon, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, each marked with unnatural designs. These are Pokémon I created through cloning, Mewtwo explained. Clones? The trainers gasped. If you want to challenge me, let's battle, Mewtwo said, provoking them. Corey called out his Venusaur, Fergus his Blastoise, and Ash released his Charizard. The trainers left the hall for the battlefield, but Kai lingered, falling behind. Once they were gone, Kai slipped away, retracing his steps down a different corridor. In the dim hallway, Kai moved swiftly, Gardevoir close by. Haunter emerged from his shadow, curious. Why sneak off now? Aren't you curious about their battle? Haunter asked. Kai found a staircase leading down to lower levels, the eerie silence adding to the foreboding atmosphere. At the bottom, he pushed open a rusted gate, revealing a vast laboratory filled with high-tech equipment and glowing tubes. To his astonishment, Kai spotted Team Rocket near a control panel, arguing while fumbling with machinery. Well, isn't this a surprise? Kai said. I thought the storm would have sent you sinking. The trio froze, then turned to him, shocked. You, Jesse shrieked. What are you doing here? Same as you, I guess, Kai replied, strolling past them confidently. We didn't do anything wrong, Meow stammered. We're just, sightseeing. Kai ignored them, focusing on the equipment, poking at various contraptions. Haunter emerged, pulling a grotesque face at Team Rocket, making Meowth yelp in terror. Let's get out of here before he changes his mind. Jesse whispered to James, but James was fixated on the central monitor, where a video played on loop. Flashes of Mewtwo's creation, scientists working, and the explosion that destroyed the lab. This is where Mewtwo was born, Kai said thoughtfully. After destroying it, it rebuilt the castle. The tremors grew stronger, shaking the ground. It seems Ash and Mewtwo had started their battle, Kai remarked. He turned to his Pokémon. Haunter, Gardevoir, destroy this place. Haunter hesitated, but isn't this Mewtwo's home? Aren't we here to challenge it? Kai sighed. This isn't just a home, it's a lab for creating clones. If we don't destroy it, who knows how many Pokémon will be forced into existence? James hesitated. Wait, did you say Mewtwo? The strongest Pokémon ever created? Kai raised an eyebrow. You've heard of it? James nodded. I've heard rumors. Mewtwo wasn't born naturally, and its power makes it an outcast. James, shut up, Jesse hissed. Let's get out of here. But James continued, if you're really going to destroy this lab, I think you're doing the right thing. Kai blinked in surprise. James's unexpected words resonated. As the trio turned to leave, James paused. Oh, by the way, I saw a small pink Pokémon that looked like a kitten follow the clone Pokémon. It seemed legendary. Kai's eyes narrowed. Mew? James nodded. Yeah, it looked like Mew. So Mew had come, likely sensing Mewtwo's presence. Thanks for the tip, Kai said. Now get off this island. It's not safe. The tremors intensified and distant explosions echoed. By the time Kai turned back, the trio had vanished. All right, Kai said, turning to his Pokémon. No more delays. Haunter, Gardevoir, tear this place apart. The 2 Pokémon sprang into action. Haunter launched Shadow Balls at the machinery, while Gardevoir used Psychic to crush it. Explosions erupted, sending sparks and smoke everywhere. Within minutes, the laboratory was in ruins. But before Kai could relax, he noticed hundreds of black Pokeballs floating from a nearby passage. These were different jet black with glowing red eyes, radiating ominous energy. Mewtwo's already started, Kai muttered. The black Pokeballs zipped past him, heading to upper levels, then returned, glowing red with captured Pokemon.
Among them were Ash's Charizard, Squirtle, Pikachu, Brock's Ninetales, and Misty's Starmie.
Kai clenched his fists. Haunter, Gardevoir, destroy them. Free the captured Pokemon. Without hesitation, they attacked. Shadow Ball and Psychic shattered the black Pokeballs one by one. As they broke, the trapped Pokemon reappeared, confused but unharmed. These Pokeballs, they're terrifying, Kai muttered. To think they could capture so many Pokemon so easily. Before he could dwell on it, Ash came sprinting into the room, chasing a lone black Pokeball. When Ash spotted Kai, he shouted, "Kai, quick, help me grab that Pokeball." My Pikachu was inside. Even Pikachu, who usually evaded trouble, had been captured by a strange black Pokeball. Kai remained calm, signaling Gardevoir to step forward. Her eyes glowed blue as she used her psychic powers to open the Pokeball. Pikachu emerged, shaking itself off and leaping into Ash's arms. "Don't worry," Kai said. "I not only rescued your Pikachu, but also freed the other Pokemon." "Thank you so much," Ash exclaimed, hugging Pikachu tightly before checking on Charizard and Squirtle. They were unharmed, easing his anxiety. "Is everyone okay?" Kai nodded and asked, "What's the situation upstairs?" Ash's expression darkened. "We lost. We couldn't beat those cloned Pokemon. And Mewtwo, it used those strange Pokeballs to steal all our Pokemon." Kai frowned, not surprised. "That was its plan all along, but I destroyed the equipment here. Its plan won't succeed." Ash looked around, noticing the chaos. "I was wondering why I didn't see you earlier. But how did you know there were hidden devices here?" Kai hesitated, then deflected the question. "That's not important right now. Let's focus on helping the others." They quickly left the room, climbing the stairs as their footsteps echoed through the corridors. Ash kept glancing at Pikachu, still worried despite its return. When they reached the lobby, they found Misty and Brock confronting Mewtwo, who floated before them, radiating power. Misty, Starmie, and Brock's Onix were missing, a reminder of their losses. "Humans," Mewtwo said, "I do not wish to harm you. Leave now. If you want to return to the mainland safely, you'll have to face the storm on your own." Misty clenched her fists, defiant. Brock stood beside her, silent but resolute. They knew crossing the storm without help was impossible, and leaving without their Pokemon was unthinkable. Ash and Kai entered, drawing attention. Behind them, the freed Pokemon followed, safe and unharmed. "What's going on here?" Mewtwo asked, glaring at Kai. "Was this your doing?" Kai met its gaze, unflinching. It was. Mewtwo sneered, "I planned to deal with you last, but you've caused me so much trouble." Kai replied calmly, "That's the thing about plans. There will always be factors beyond your control." Fueled by anger, Ash ran toward Mewtwo, fist raised. Mewtwo barely reacted, stopping Ash mid-air with an invisible force and sending him flying back. As Ash tumbled toward a jagged wall, a soft pink bubble appeared behind him, cushioning his fall. Emerging from the bubble was a small, playful Pokemon. "Mew!" Brock exclaimed in awe. Mewtwo's gaze sharpened. "So, you're Mew. The Pokemon I was created from." Mew twirled in the air, seemingly unaware of the tension. Mewtwo, frustrated, fired a sphere of light at Mew, but it dodged effortlessly. Mewtwo launched a barrage of energy balls, but Mew evaded them all. The attacks missed, causing explosions around them. "You may have been my prototype," Mewtwo declared, "but I am the superior being. I am the ultimate Pokemon." Mewtwo floated higher, facing Mew directly. "Why don't you fight back? Do you fear me?" Mew continued to avoid Mewtwo's attacks. Uninterested in engaging. Enraged, Mewtwo gathered an enormous sphere of energy and hurled it at Mew. Mew was struck and sent flying into the clouds, creating an explosion that lit up the sky. Everyone held their breath. Seconds later, the same energy ball came hurtling back, striking Mewtwo with equal force. The impact sent Mewtwo crashing into the ground, creating a crater. Mewtwo rose unharmed, its rage intensifying as it glared at Mew. "Your strength is impressive. You truly deserve my full attention." Mewtwo activated its psychic abilities again, summoning over a dozen clone Pokemon with distinctive stripes. "You humans created us to make us stronger, but you never anticipated the day we'd rise against you. Now, clones, let these humans feel the anger of lives toyed with." At Mewtwo's command, the cloned Pokemon charged. Ash and the others, initially unwilling to fight, were forced to defend themselves. A chaotic scuffle broke out. Kai released his Pokémon, but soon realized the clones were far stronger than their original counterparts. Amid flames, torrents of water, and surging electricity, roars of Pokémon filled the air as the battle spread throughout the castle. As their strength waned, the battle reached a stalemate. Tired of Mew's agile movements, Mewtwo decided to end it. "Now handle this." Mewtwo prepared to unleash a final attack against Mew. Seeing this, Mew formed its own massive energy ball. The two spheres, one blue and one pink, grew larger before launching toward each other. Suddenly, Ash ran between the two attacks. Arms spread wide. "Stop! Don't fight anymore." But it was too late. The energy attacks collided right where Ash stood. Boom! A blinding light erupted, and Ash collapsed, turning into a lifeless stone statue. The sudden turn of events stunned everyone. Ash. Kai rushed to his side, shaking him, but found no response. Mewtwo looked down at Ash coldly. "Foolish. Did you think you could stop our battle? How naive." Pikachu, frantic, unleashed electric shocks on Ash, trying to revive him. Sparks illuminated the room as Pikachu cried out in despair. Exhausted, it collapsed onto Ash's body, tears streaming down its face. The heartfelt scene moved the surrounding Pokémon, realizing someone had given their life to stop the fighting. Many began to shed tears. Miraculously, the Pokémon's tears shimmered with a magical light, lifting into the air like glowing stars before descending into Ash. At that moment, the storm around New Island ceased, and a radiant light shone down on Ash. Everyone watched in awe as Ash opened his eyes and sat up, alive once more. High above, a majestic Pokémon with rainbow-colored wings soared away. Ho! Legend had it that Ho could revive the dead. It must have appeared just in time to save Ash. Why would Ho come here, Kai wondered. Was it drawn by Mewtwo's power, or does it watch over Ash? Regardless, Ash's revival brought immense relief. The surrounding Pokémon cheered joyously, and Mewtwo was moved by Ash's selfless actions. Mewtwo wrestled with its thoughts, seizing the moment. Kai stepped forward. "Mewtwo, this battle proves nothing. Whether natural-born or cloned, all life has the right to live freely." Mewtwo was silent for a moment. "You have a point. Strength or weakness is meaningless in the face of life itself." Turning to Mew, Mewtwo continued, "Whether natural-born or created, we are all Pokémon. No one has the right to impose their will on others. Perhaps this battle should be forgotten." Mew nodded in agreement. Together, they summoned gentle blue particles of light spreading across the island and erasing the memories of the event from everyone except Kai. As the light avoided him, Mewtwo descended and addressed Kai directly. "There's something I must ask you. From your memories. I see you've foreseen many things. I want to know why." Mewtwo's sudden change in attitude surprised even Kai. It showed that while Mewtwo might be intense and paranoid, it wasn't inherently evil. Blinded by hatred, it began to waver after glimpsing the beauty of the world. After a moment, Kai replied, "What do you want to know?" Mewtwo asked, "Who are you? How do you know my name? And why do you seem to know so much about the future?" Kai mentally grumbled, "Why so many questions? Are you a living Pokédex?" Still, Mewtwo's questions indicated it hadn't fully extracted his memories. "How should I handle this? Fool it? No, I should answer tactfully." He glanced at Ash, Misty, and Brock, who looked dazed. The glowing particles around them were erasing their memories of the events on New Island. After a moment, Kai smiled. "I can answer your questions, but first, let's get Ash and the others back to the mainland." Vermilion City poured. A fierce wind swept through the harbor, waves crashing against the lighthouse. The passenger hall was crowded with trainers and Pokémon, the air thick with the scent of seawater and various Pokémon. Ash groggily opened his eyes, surprised to find himself on a bench. Rubbing his eyes, he saw Misty, Brock, and Kai nearby. "Why was I asleep?" he murmured, still dazed. Misty and Brock stretched and yawned, waking up. "This is strange. Why are we here?" Misty asked, frowning. Kai leaned back and replied, "You were probably tired. Didn't we take shelter here from the storm?" Exchanging uncertain glances, they felt something was off. Misty rubbed her temples. "But this is Vermilion City. How did we get here? And Kai, why are you with us?" Kai chuckled, feigning nonchalance. "Didn't you say you'd come find me after earning your gym badges? I came to pick you up." Their thoughts were interrupted by a commotion nearby. Officer Jenny and a sailor, Porter, were surrounded by trainers. Attention everyone, Officer Jenny's voice cut through the noise. The storm has temporarily suspended all ferry services. Please remain patient. Nurse Joy appeared, reassuring everyone. Our Pokémon Center will provide free meals and accommodation until the storm clears. Kai noticed the missing person notice for Joy was gone. Under Mewtwo and Mew's powers, the island's events had been erased from everyone's memories. Suddenly, Ash pointed at the sky. Look, what Pokémon is that? Kai and the others rushed to the window. Among the clouds, a figure darted at incredible speed. Mewtwo. Before leaving, Kai had shared truths with Mewtwo, revealing he wasn't from this world. Surprisingly, Mewtwo accepted the concept of time travel easily, even acknowledging Kai as a friend. Mewtwo had promised, if you ever face difficulties in the future, call on me for help. While gaining Mewtwo's friendship was great, it was Mew that captivated Kai. Not only was Mew adorable, but its strength was extraordinary. He felt certain their paths would cross again. The torrential rain stopped abruptly, and Kai invited Ash and the others to lunch at a nearby restaurant. "This is so good," Ash exclaimed, holding a fork and chopsticks. "It's been ages since I've had something this good." As he ate, he glanced at Pikachu, who was devouring food, and Gardevoir, who ate gracefully. Suddenly, Ash suggested, "Hey Kai, we've known each other a while, but we've never battled. Want to have a match after lunch?" Brock's interest peaked. A battle between you two sounds exciting. Misty, skeptical, sided with Kai. With your skill level, there's no way you're beating Kai. Hey Misty, Kai smiled. There's no guaranteed win in a Pokemon battle. It all depends on strategy. Seeing Ash's eager expression, Kai relented. Alright, a battle sounds good. It's a great way to burn off lunch. Awesome! Ash's eyes lit up. Is there a battlefield nearby? Kai chuckled. The closest one is at the Cerulean laboratory. They have an outdoor battlefield in the backyard. After finishing their meal, Kai paid the bill and led the group to the Cerulean laboratory. Upon arrival, Ash marveled at the beautiful scenery under the glass dome of Cerulean Park. Wow, this greenhouse is huge. There's even a small river inside. This is the Cerulean laboratory where I'm staying temporarily, Kai explained. Unfortunately, I can't give you a proper tour. That's okay, we can admire it from the outside, Ash said cheerfully. They admired the park before focusing on the battle. The backyard battlefield was overgrown with weeds, but they decided to treat it as a natural grass battlefield. Standing on opposite sides, Kai said, "Let's keep it simple. A one-on-one battle. The winner takes all." Sounds great, Ash agreed. He turned to Pikachu. Alright, it's your turn. Pikachu dashed to the center, excitement radiating from it. Kai thought for a moment before sending out Gardevoir. Both Pokemon were their trainer's first partners, holding special meaning for them. As preparations unfolded, Chloe approached, smiling slightly at Kai. "Did you bring some friends?" Kai waved before introducing everyone. "These are friends I met on my journey." Ash stepped forward. "Hi, I'm Ash from Palatown. My dream is to become a Pokemon master. Pika-P." Brock smiled at Chloe. "Hello, I'm Brock, one of Ash's travel companions." Misty added, "I'm Misty. Nice to meet you." Chloe nodded politely. "Hello, I'm Chloe Cerise." Kai explained, Chloe is a student. Her father, Professor Cerise, founded this laboratory. "A famous professor?" Ash mused. Kai laughed. "He may not be as renowned as Professor Oak, but he's brilliant." As Chloe stood quietly beside Kai, she and Misty exchanged a look, sensing something unspoken. Both girls glanced at Kai, feeling a sudden chill in the warm summer air. Unspoken tension hung between them, their gazes clashing. Unaware of this silent drama, Kai focused on the battle about to unfold. The two Pokemon, one tall and one small, staggered across the battlefield near Cerulean Park, exchanging attacks. Both trainers watched intently as the battle neared its conclusion. "Pikachu, use Thunderbolt!" Ash shouted, determination in his voice. Pikachu unleashed dazzling arcs of electricity, illuminating the field with raw power. The crackling sound intensified the battle's tension, but Gardevoir gracefully teleported away just in time, evading the attack. Reappearing at the edge of the field, its eyes glowed blue as it launched a powerful psychic attack, enveloping Pikachu and slamming it to the ground with a thud. As the dust settled, Pikachu lay motionless, exhausted. Brock stepped forward, raising his hand. "Pikachu is unable to battle. The winner is Gardevoir." Cheers erupted around them. "Wow, Gardevoir, that was amazing." Misty exclaimed, clapping enthusiastically. Chloe joined in with polite applause. Despite the earlier tension, everyone celebrated the thrilling match. Ash felt a twinge of embarrassment seeing Misty cheer for Kai. Misty? Can't you cheer for me too? You don't have to look so happy about my loss. Misty smirked playfully. Too bad, Ash. I'll cheer for Kai all I want. What are you going to do about it? Kai approached Gardevoir, patting its shoulder proudly. Though Pikachu had fought fiercely, Gardevoir's experience and type advantage secured its victory. Ash carefully picked up Pikachu, smiling at Kai. Your Gardevoir is incredible, Kai. I lost this round. His words held no bitterness. He knew Kai's skills surpassed his own. Kai nodded, warm with acknowledgement. Your Pikachu is extraordinary, Ash. You can learn from this defeat and improve. The group soon left the battlefield, spirits high despite the competition. Kai led them to a cozy cafe known for its delicious ice cream sundaes. As they ordered treats, the atmosphere shifted to relaxed. Ash, Misty, Brock, and Chloe shared stories, laughter punctuating their conversation. As the sun set, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky, it was time for Ash and his friends to part ways with Kai. Standing outside the cafe, Misty glanced at Chloe, her expression mixed with emotions. Pushing her thoughts aside, she waved cheerfully to Kai. Take care, Kai. We'll see you around. Kai smiled back. What's next for you? Ash replied eagerly, we're heading to the Pokémon Center for the night, then back to Pallet Town. After today's battle, I know where I need to improve. I'll train harder for the Indigo League. Kai extended his hand. Good luck, Ash. Train hard if you want to win against me, or the result will be the same as today. Ash shook his hand firmly, confidence renewed. You got it? Next time Pikachu and I won't lose. As Ash, Misty, and Brock walked away, their silhouettes shrinking against the sunset, Kai turned to Chloe. Together they headed back to the Cerise Research Institute, determined to refine their strategies and train for the Indigo League. The Indigo League, held at the Grand Stadium on the Indigo Plateau, is the most anticipated Pokémon event in the Kanto region. It draws massive crowds and dominates conversations everywhere. For trainers, it represents the culmination of hard work and dreams, while for fans, it's an unparalleled spectacle. Unique among regional tournaments, trainers can qualify by earning 8 gym badges, graduating from Pokémon academies, or passing rigorous exams, making it one of the most diverse events in the Pokémon world. Excitement fills the air, towns buzz with chatter, schools discuss favorite trainers, and children reenact iconic battles, dreaming of their own chance to shine. The Indigo League brings together people from all walks of life in celebration of Pokémon battles. As the competition approached, Kai trained intensely. Each morning, he reviewed strategies and worked closely with his Pokémon in Cerise Park. Gardevoir's unwavering dedication inspired the rest of the team. Late at night, Kai sorted through photos and notes from his journey, preserving memories of battles, friendships, and quiet moments. He smiled, imagining himself years later reliving these joys and challenges. These memories, he thought, will be treasured forever. As the Indigo League's opening ceremony drew closer, Kai prepared to leave Cerise Park. Before departing, he visited the Cerise Research Institute to bid farewell to Professor Cerise and his team. Thank you for everything, he said, bowing slightly. I hope to make you proud, the Indigo League. Professor Cerise smiled warmly. You've worked hard, Kai. I have no doubt you'll perform brilliantly. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. At the lab, Kai handed gifts to Professor Cerise, Miss Krisa, and Mr. Renji. I appreciate all your care and guidance. Please accept these tokens of gratitude. They accepted his gifts with smiles. Time flies, Professor Cerise remarked. It feels like just yesterday you arrived in Kanto. Now, you're about to compete in the Indigo Plateau Conference. Yeah, Kai replied, reminiscing. I still remember how nervous I felt when I first visited the lab. Professor Cerise chuckled. You've come a long way. The Indigo Plateau Conference is the highlight of Kanto's competitive season. Give it your all. Kai nodded firmly. Absolutely. I'll face every battle with everything I've got. Before leaving, he promised to continue his role as a special research investigator for the lab, reporting any remarkable Pokémon or incidents during his journey. Just then, Chloe walked in, dressed in sporty attire and carrying a packed backpack. Huh? Kai asked, surprised. Chloe, dressed like that? Are you planning to? Professor Cerise smiled. While we can't accompany you, Chloe will go with you instead. It's a great opportunity for her to broaden her horizons. Chloe's coming too? Kai was taken aback. What about school?
Chloe giggled.
My mom arranged for me to take leave. Professor Cerise added, it's good for her to get out more. This will be a valuable experience. Kai nodded solemnly. I promise to take good care of Chloe during our travels. Professor Cerise pulled Chloe aside for a heartfelt talk before her departure, reminding her to stay safe and eat properly. Meanwhile, Chris and Renji approached Kai with warm smiles. I wish you the best of luck, Kikuna said. Renji whispered, no matter how busy I am, I'll secretly cheer for you. Kai thanked them for their kind words. As everyone gathered to say goodbye, Yamper bounded over, sensing Chloe's departure and staying close. By the way, Professor Cerise said, petting Yamper, since it seems attached to you, why not take it along? Chloe hesitated, glancing at Kai, who nodded encouragingly. All right then. Yamper barked excitedly, its tail wagging. With everything ready, Professor Cerise waved as Chloe and Kai prepared to leave. Take care of Chloe, he called out. I will, Kai assured him. They bowed slightly in farewell before setting off, hearts filled with anticipation for the Indigo League and new adventures ahead. Leaving the Cerise laboratory, Kai and Chloe made their way out of Vermilion City, heading north to Saffron City before nightfall. After resting, they turned west towards Celadon City. For Chloe, this was her first real journey away from home, and everything felt fresh and exciting. With Chloe as his companion, Kai found the journey much more enjoyable. Their conversations and laughter made the road ahead feel less lonely, highlighting the joy of traveling together.